go.
All right, that's fine. All right. I can't see
All
you
right.
pointing to me though, so just be like,
Yeah,
go.
we here now. So yeah, what's up?
What's going on, people? Hey, it's here. Week 3 coming up. We got some good games. It's getting dicey. Quarterback injury. I mean, I'm sorry, running back injuries, but people have stepped up, man. From week 1, and like I say, man, earlier, a lot of preseason guys didn't play in. Now they starting to get their feet wet, and it's looking like they supposed to look like. But we here. We got me. You got Jay. You got the third man. He trying to earn his binary in the back. That Iron Jace Lego. But
Third man here.
he
Third
got he
man
got
is
to earn his
on
keep first. So
point.
he not showing up enough. People, y'all got to give him some trouble now because he got to do his part now. So he got to step
sorry,
up.
I'm sorry, people. I am a doctoral candidate. I am sorry.
Yeah, do what you got to do. We're just glad to have you here. As you can see, I am not in the normal studio. I'm just in the kitchen, dining room. I don't know. I'm actually coming reporting from Kansas City. Dining room. I'm told. I'm in Kansas City, handling some business. For those that watch the show, know that our producer lost her mom a year ago, so we out there trying to clear up some stuff with the house. We might have a little technical issues. We had a problem when we got here. When we first arrived, I was like, okay, the cable's not working, the internet's not working. We might not be R&J on Wednesday night. But shout out to Spectrum. The one thing they did right, they came, they sent somebody. Yeah, shout out to Spectrum. They got everything going, so we are able to do the show. We'll see how well it goes. Since I'm not in my normal setup, so we'll see. But good to have the third man. How you doing?
Third man is here, fellas. What's going on, people? Just let me know what's the first topic. I got a lot of stuff to say.
Well, before we get into topics, how did everybody do with their fantasy football this week? Myself, I went 6-3 across my league, so I'm doing all right over here. Unfortunately, though, before you say highly favored, I'm 0-2 in 2 leagues. So my wins have not been spread around as evenly as I would like them to be. But 0-2 ain't too bad, but I gotta fix some stuff. What about y'all?
I went 2-4 this week.
Ooh.
I had a lot of bad play on Monday night. So it took me to 1-1 in most of my leagues, and I'm 2-0 in another league. So I mean, I'm starting off good. Long as I start 0-2, I'm good. I can always work my way up.
Was that a dig at me since I just said I went 0-2? That's all right.
Jack. Might have been. I don't know.
Little. It felt a little diggish. I felt judged.
I had nothing to do with that, man. That's how you feel now.
I felt judged.
I'm glad somebody had some modicum of success tonight because this week I need to know what I did to piss the fantasy gods off. I thought I was a good steward.
Right.
I did all of that. I went 0-6. I went 0-6 this week, fellas.
Whoa.
Oh, wow.
So the reason I'm 0-6 there's a method to my madness. I try to draft the same on a lot of my teams because I don't want to have one player I need in one league to go off, then I have to play him in another league. So I try to draft the same players. So Rodney, I'm begging you, can you please take the curse off me in your league?
Hold on.
Please take the curse off me in your league. So my team in your league, A-Rod, Nick Chubb, Saquon.
I didn't draft that team. You did.
Take the Hojo off my team, bro.
Man.
I have nothing to do with that, man. You can't blame that on me.
But I said A-Rod, Nick Chubb, Saquon, all on one squad.
You can just cancel that season right there, because dang.
Look, man. I have nothing to do with the juju you got going on here, man. I'm just saying, man. You just maybe you need to.
Look, what's the refund policy in the True Warrior League?
There's no refund policy over here.
Don't worry, they ain't get all my money yet, so it's all right. They ain't even get all my payment yet, so it's okay.
I know where you live at now. I know how to find you.
RJ just about to catch me in traffic. It's all right.
Trust me, I know where you live at now. Hold up now. But no, you'll be all right, man. It's early, man.
Yeah, it's early. These are the challenges of fantasy football.
It's early, and then people at Rodney League don't want to trade. They be acting like it's Fort Knox. I've been looking like, man, this is a good try. I'm not even. Normally, I would try to get over with you. I'm actually trying to be good right now.
I mean, you know what you're getting into when you get there, man.
I need to know what kind of internet your people got, because 30 seconds players is. I'm like, you
Yo, this is a true story. I'm watching the game the other night. Because I was prepping for this trip, so I'm packing stuff, looking at the TV, packing stuff, and I just look up for a second. I was like, is that Nick Chubb on the cart?
Took too long.
By the time I said that sentence, I went to grab my phone, because this is the league for those that are viewers that we play in a couple leagues where there is no waiver wire. You just grab players when you want them. By the time I said, is that Nick Chubb, it was over. Somebody had already picked up his backup.
You waited until he got on the cart. When I saw him sit up like this and he laid back down,
right?
I said, oh, yeah. Grab my phone. I said, who's it? Ford. Gone. I said, who the hell? What kind of internet these people? He in the stadium? What kind of internet these people got? I hate this league. I hate the whole JP.
I hate it with a passion. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's the one thing. I like the payout. The payout is nice. But I hate that lack of waiver wire.
What he didn't tell you is this. What he didn't tell you is the person that got Ford is me.
Yeah, I hate your guts.
I didn't want to call you out like that, brother.
He did it in your league too? Because he did it in the league I'm in as well. Okay.
No. He happens to be the commissioner in both of them.
No, hold on. First of all,
I smell collusion.
That smells kind of rotten right there.
I smell collusion.
I only got him in one league, which is the league that me and you play in, Jay. You need to blame Byron on that one, though. Byron, if you ever,
Byron got him in the barbershop too.
Byron, he sleeps with the TV in front of his face. I keep trying to tell y'all that.
And his phone in his hand, apparently.
Watching the games, like as soon as I saw him lean up and then lay back down, I said,
Byron. Let me tell y'all something about Byron. If the guy go down and it look wrong, Byron is going to pick up the backup. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. Byron don't give you a chance to do nothing. Y'all have to be on the court. Y'all have to be cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even watch my team no more. I watch Red Zone so I can see everything that's going on. And man, it's all right. I'm gonna be all right.
I mean, but I told you this when you got in the league, man. I said you had to pay full attention to these guys, man.
That's more than paying attention. Look, sometimes a brother got to eat a sandwich, go to their bathroom. You got to live with a phone and a TV. You got to live. Y'all.
It don't work that way on Sundays, man. If you home, if you out, you better be in front of somebody's restaurant TV watching the game or have something in front of you. Because if you don't, you're going to be in some trouble when it come to Byron. And then it's even worse in the barbershop. He is even extra quick in the barbershop. That's why I be trying to tell you, between Byron and Key, it's real over there, man. These guys will snip you for everything and then try to trade you back the player that you tried to pick up and try to get something for you.
Picking up players that ain't even been picked up yet. I said, oh, God, alert came through. Kareem Hunt signed. I said, oh,
he was going the other day.
I said, wow, who picked him up? The alert, my phone just buzzed.
Yo, the day that Nick Chubb that night he got hurt, people picked up Ford and they picked up Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt was gone within seconds, bro.
Yeah.
When I tell you, it's crazy.
There is no hesitation, and I hate all
that
y'all.
over there. Well, I mean, the payout is great. You just got to realize it's a free for all. You got to just go for it. You got to be in front of everything. Sometimes you just got to bite that bullet and you say, but you don't know who to drop half the time. And you be like, man, should I drop this person or this person? And then that one hesitation is you're done at that point. You took too long. It's over. It's okay though.
Well, it is what it is. But hey, let's welcome. I see people pouring in. So welcome Angelo, Orlina, Carla to the show. I'm glad Angelo and Carla are here because I got some words for y'all and y'all Steeler Nation. So y'all better stay tuned. We got some stuff for y'all. But let's start out with some questions. We got Justin. Thanks for joining us.
Justin?
I think y'all. I'm gonna already say that Justin watches the show enough to know my answer to his first question.
Yeah, might as well.
Zay Flowers or Mike Williams this week? Mike Williams should have this is a good week for the Chargers, but you know my rule. the answer is never Mike Williams. What do y'all think?
I'm going Zay Flowers.
I'm gonna go Zay Flowers as well because Odell is hurt again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go Zay.
Yeah.
But the only reason I would even think about Mike Williams because I think that game is gonna be a shootout.
Yeah, that's exactly.
The Chargers versus they play the Vikings, correct? I think that game is gonna be a shootout. So I don't think Mike Will is a bad play this week.
It's a good play. This is one of those weeks that it makes sense to play him, right? But my whole thing is with he's Mike Williams.
Zay. Just because of volume, I would go Zay Flowers.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going Zay Flowers for the same reason. Like I said, this is a makes sense to be Mike Williams week. But the thing about Mike Williams is he's so boom or bust that the games. Mike Williams is the best ball wide receiver you can have. Speaking of best ball, brother won a quarter. I told you I ain't mentioned my best ball leagues in a while. But for those that don't know, best ball is where you do the draft, but you don't ever have to worry about a lineup. Once you draft, you're done, and then they just pick the best players for all yours. So I play in a small money league, just $1 entry, because I just want to. I won some money from the Yahoo Championship League because I win in championships, so they always invite me back. So I won some money for that. So I like to pay that, give Yahoo their money back. But this week, brother won a quarter, having the best ball league. So watch out for me. Okay. But Mike Williams is best ball because I never have to worry about when I'm going to put him in a lineup because I promise you, the weeks you play Mike Williams are the weeks he's going to give you nothing, and when you put him on the bench, he's going to go off for like 30 points. So all right, we all agree. I think on Zay Flowers for that, just because like you said, Chat, with OBJ being hurt. Zay Flowers has been showing out.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be good this week.
I don't know whether this is a joke, but Justin said the Raiders looked good last week. I'm pretty sure he didn't mean that. Because, unless he was in a time machine and he's talking about 2 weeks ago, or maybe he went back to 2003. The Raiders ain't looked no kind of good yesterday. So
that must have been a joke or something.
That must have been a joke, but we don't take kindly to that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So, who y'all going with this? You need a wide receiver and a flex spot. If you got, I'm assuming, is this Myers for the Raiders? Tank Dell, Michael Thomas, Drake London, Gabe Davis, and Jaylen Warren. One wide receiver and one flex of that list. Who are y'all taking?
My wide receiver, I'll take Drake.
He came alive. They decided to throw the ball last week.
Yeah, because they have to throw to somebody, and we know it's obviously not Kyle Pitts. So the wide receiver, I'll take Drake London just because he has to throw the ball to somebody. For the flex,
that's a tough one there.
Well, for one of the flex people,
I'm leaning towards Jaylen Warren.
I hate your guts, but go ahead. that Jaylen Warren is part of my thing I have with these Steelers fans later.
Man,
Yes, you're not giving me a good sample group here, Justin.
No, not one bit. I'm gonna say. I don't like this. I'm gonna say Gabe Davis. I'm not a huge Gabe Davis fan.
I feel Gabe Davis like I feel Mike Williams.
Yeah,
it's that same kind of thing.
He's a matchup-based type of player, so you gotta play him in certain matchups. I'm gonna say Gabe Davis, and I'm gonna say Drake London. I just Jaylen Warner for me is they don't know if they want to run the ball. That's my problem with Pittsburgh right now. They running game is terrible. I'm gonna go Drake London and Gabe Davis. Just those are the safer picks for me.
Yeah.
I like Tank, but can Tank do it again is the question.
See, that's what I was gonna go. For me, I was gonna go Drake London and Tank Dell, just because, like you said, Shaq, for the Atlanta, they got to throw to somebody, and apparently Drake London is that dude. Yeah. And I think they're going to be throwing the ball. I actually like Tank Dell, and I think Tank Dell is going to be a baller. What's surprising to me is the fact that for 2 weeks in a row, Robert Woods, who I thought was dead and buried, has been doing some work. But I think C.J. Stroud is really looking good. So I feel fairly, given this list, I feel fairly confident about Tank Dell. But yeah, Drake London is a definite out of this.
I don't
list.
know, man, because Nico Collins is there too.
Nico Collins is there too. But hey, CJ been spreading it around.
He has, but I mean, safer pick for me would be Drake and I guess Gabe because they don't have no other receivers anyway, so it don't matter.
You're good, man. Let's hit some questions from some other people. I know we got a few more Justin comments. I'm gonna bounce back to those. Welcome, Will Hayes to the show. Good to have you back.
Will.
What's up with Josh Jacobs is the question, and
that's for you.
That's for this wonderful system that McDaniels is running. I can't figure it out. I don't know how you have negative 1 yards. How do you get it? I had to double. Like, did he get hurt? Did he die? What? So many things, injuries happen, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know how you have the leading rusher 1 year who's giving you nothing just a year later. But I can't figure out the Raiders to save my life. I have the issue I have with the Raiders is I know I keep foreshadowing, if you will, that I'm gonna talk about the Steelers. But I'm gonna tell you the problem I have with the Steelers is the problem I have with the Raiders, which is the problem I have with a lot of teams. I think there's collusion where all these teams are decided we're not gonna give the running backs the ball because they keep wanting money. We're gonna prove that we don't need them because the fact that you have these guys that we know can put up numbers. And they're not giving it. They're not feeding. I'm gonna go right to Najee Harris. The fact that Najee Harris only had 10 carries last week and 6 the week before that. I know they're playing against good defenses, but Najee Harris is averaging 4.6 yards a carry. That is phenomenal. You need to be feeding that man the ball at least 20 times a game. And I feel this similarly about Josh Jacobs. He's not getting the ball enough, and a lot of these guys are. And in addition to this collusion, what we're talking about this week, the injuries for running backs is not helping their case at all. It's not helping their case at all. So, what's up with Josh Jacobs? I wish I had the answer for you. but PPR saying Will. This is also Will Hayes. Who are y'all picking between these? Is this bad option week? You got to pick between Elijah Moore and Gabe Davis.
Oh God!
None of the above for me. I
kind of have to walk back what I was saying about Deshaun at the start of the season. Apparently, you can still play bad. Apparently.
Yeah.
See, but I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that. I think it is that.
He's playing bad.
No.
He's playing badly. I got the stats to show you. He's playing bad.
He's definitely playing bad. But I also think the offensive coordinator is not putting him in a position to be successful either. Because when you're telling me Amari Cooper is your only receiver that he trusts and everybody else is trash, and you run the ball 85,000 times a game, you're not putting him in a position to get any type of rhythm.
Well, guess what? That's over with now, so we're going to see.
Well, I don't think so. I think they still going to run the ball. I think just the identity that they want to have. But again, that's not a winning identity. Most teams nowadays throw the football.
But the Browns, their identity, certain teams, their identity is running the ball. And
but now
not anymore. I think now what they should be now.
You can't do that in the league now. You got to stay within the game because if you get up by if a team get up by 14, and they can't run their way to 14 points, they're gonna have to throw at some point, right? So at the end of the day, I'm thinking they gotta let him throw the football. I mean, the man can throw it. We've seen him throw for 4,800 yards in this league before, so at least they gotta let him throw the football and stop trying to throw it, run it 35, 40 times a game, and they still gonna do it though. They ain't gonna listen to me, but they still gonna do it. Elijah Moore is not a good receiver.
Elijah Moore is a good receiver. I just don't know what it is, but he is a good receiver. I
mean, we're gonna find out now. I mean, because they're gonna have to throw the ball, but But
I think that Titans defense will allow you to throw the ball. I was gonna say when we started, the first 2 weeks of the season are, and we've said this before, they've kind of become warm-up games. This third week is sort of the prove it league, the prove it week, if you will. You got guys that you've been on the fence about. This is by week 3 is when I don't make hardly any moves week 1 unless, an injury or something happens or there's some guy that just named Puka comes that just went above all things you expected. I don't really like I believe in myself as a drafter that the first week I'm not touching anything. Second week I'm thinking about it, but I'm still not trying to make too many moves. Week 3, that's where I start doing my tinkering. And so a guy like Elijah Moore, Deshaun Watson, I might start doing some tinkering with. Elijah Moore should be better. We saw this, it's his rookie year with the Jets. He was phenomenal, and then he was pretty much nothing ever since then. I think he's still good, but I think he has to be in the right position. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it from this year. But if I had to pick, gun to my head, Elijah Moore or Gabe Davis, I'm going Gabe Davis solely because of his quarterback.
Yeah,
and that's about the only logic I can think to pick between those two. But hey, appreciate those questions. Eventually, we're going to get back to NFL news, which we usually start the show with. But hey, the question that came in from the jump. Welcome, Marco, to the show. Just got offered Flowers and Mike Williams to get Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is a redraft PPR league. Their running backs right now are CMC, David Montgomery, Raheem Mostert, who is looking really nice down there in Miami, Rashawn, and then the wide receivers, that's Rashawn Johnson in Chicago. Wide receivers are Calvin Ridley, Christian Watson, Mike Williams, Zay Flowers. They have Cooks, Woods, I guess that's Brandon Cooks, and we talked about Bobby Trees earlier, Robert Woods. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 2 flex. What do y'all think about that offer? Zay Flowers, Mike Williams to get Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I would do it
in a heartbeat.
Hey, Marco, waste no time waiting for our answers. Like, go accept this immediately. Then come back with us. For Amon-Ra St. Brown, because hey, we've all said our thing about Mike Williams earlier. If you were with us. Zay Flowers I like, but he ain't Amon-Ra St. Brown. And quite frankly, that rate, though we're told there's going to be a lot more passing in the offense for the Ravens, it is yet to be seen to really show benefits. So I'm Amon-Ra St. Brown all day. I hope you already hit accept. Thanks for that question. Another trade question coming from Hunter Johnson. Welcome to the show. Should you trade T. Higgins and Jahmyr Gibbs for Dameon Pierce and Josh Jacobs? Heck to the no is my answer. What do y'all think? Not even a little bit.
No.
Now
you keep your pieces, brother.
Keep those pieces. Because we talked about Josh Jacobs. I'm not. Hey, I got to see that ship get righted before I even try to go. Sometimes you want to buy low, but to me, that's not a good buy low opportunity. Because T. Higgins came alive last week. I'm a little bit concerned. We're talking about injuries this week and how you navigate through them. I'm a little bit concerned about Joe Burrow at this point and how much that's going to go. But I think T. Higgins is going to be a fight. And I love, sometimes the injuries help you out. Jahmyr Gibbs should get that work. Exactly. He's about to get that work right there.
He's about to go to work.
So thanks for the questions. We appreciate it, Hunter. Hey, and for anyone out there, if you haven't already done so, hit subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Thank you.
While we're still talking about trades, I sent one today in the league.
Okay.
I'm still waiting on waiting on.
Is it somebody here?
Excuse me?
Is it somebody here on the show?
No.
Okay, just checking.
I offered up Scary Terry and Michael Pittman Jr. For Gibbs.
And he said no.
What do you guys think about that?
Scary Terry and Michael Pittman for Gibbs. Now,
does this person have what is
wide receiver rich in this league?
I figured, but what is the other person? Are they running back rich in this league?
Yes, they are.
So they need receivers.
Yes, they do.
I would do the trade. I mean, I like Scary Terry and I like Michael Pittman. So I would do the trade. I think it's fair.
Yeah. If they weren't saying David Montgomery was day to day, I would say no. But because David Montgomery is coming back, I do that trade if I need wide receivers. And I'm going from the other person because I know you want this to happen for you. But if I'm the other person, I do it just because I think Scary Terry is going to, no matter who his quarterback is, he's going to do his thing. Michael Pittman Jr., I'm kind of iffy about. I'm still waiting to see how the thing develops, but if there's going to be somebody in Indianapolis you can count on, he's that guy. He's that guy. Mm-hmm. And so I think I take that potential because for me, with David Montgomery coming back, I think Scary Terry and Jahmyr Gibbs kind of are almost at the level of even, and the Michael Pittman convinces me, all right, I go for it. If I need wide receivers. If I don't, then I say that's your. If I don't, then I'm saying that's your problem, and I ain't doing nothing to help you.
I mean, but we've seen Michael Pittman be really successful.
Yeah,
he went off week 1.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm talking about a whole season. We've seen Michael Pittman.
Yeah, that's correct.
I'm scared.
2 years ago.
I'm always scared with rookie quarterbacks. So when my receiver has a rookie throwing to them, I'm kind of antsy. But I think there's going to be enough. Since I'm getting Scary Terry, I think there's going to be enough weeks of Michael Pittman Jr. being good that I'm comfortable with making that kind of trade.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, I think. Yo, let's finish up these. And thanks everybody for the questions so far. Let's go to finish up these Justin questions that I went about. But before I do, yes, we're talking navigating through injuries, and Nita points out the Nick Chubb. Definitely praying for him. Like I said, I was doing stuff at the time, so I didn't actually see the hit. But from what I heard,
that thing was nasty.
Yeah, boy. I'm hoping it's just a season-ending injury and not worse than that.
So when they said on air that we're not going to show it, I was like, oh, that's bad. But then when you heard the entire Pittsburgh crowd go, ooh, when they showed it in the stadium, I said, oh, this must be bad.
But, they say that's the same type of injury he had in college.
I saw it.
Yeah.
So if you remember the injury that Willis McGahee got at the U,
I do remember
as soon as I saw it, I said, oh, this is Willis McGahee. Just like that. PCL, MCL. A report came out today that said he might need 2 surgeries.
Yeah, they did say that.
One they do like in 2 days, and then another one a couple months down the road.
Well, they said that's the same injury, similar injury he had in college. He had a similar injury just like
he blew out the entire knee. Yeah, I remember him play.
So if he can come back from that in college, he'll be all right. And technology is a lot better nowadays. So medicine is better. So I think they'll be all right. I think he'll be back. I ain't gonna say first, second week, but it's gonna take definitely 9 to 12 months for him to be right.
So. Injury is bad if Pittsburgh fans are cheering for a Browns fan.
It's
real.
That's how you know it's real.
It was definitely nasty though.
On that injury, I saw a lot of people, like we talked about earlier, jumping to grab Jerome Ford, which sounded like a great idea at the time, and I still think it is. But what do y'all think about them picking up Kareem Hunt again, going back to this offense?
He knows the offense.
Yep.
I think Kareem Hunt was a little bit too nice. The price would have went up. Once I saw the Browns calling me, I said, now you need me. Now you want me.
Like my feet just went up.
Exactly.
Let's talk turkey. Let's talk.
I think he's gonna be in the same role he was when Nick Chubb was there. I think he's gonna be the third down back. They did come out today and say Ford is the guy, but I still think Nick Chubb gonna chip into that as a third down back. I think they still gonna run the ball anyway. It doesn't matter who back there. They still gonna run. I think they just gonna have to throw a little bit more than they want to, but I still think they're gonna run probably a lot too. So I think both of them can eat. I don't think it's really nothing, in my opinion. But
so we'll see. I think there's room for both of those to succeed. Like you said, they're gonna probably pass a bit more, but the way we've seen Deshaun Watson looking, they might want to get that running back. Hey, we're going to see. Like I said, it's week 3. And this is the Titans defense is not really scary. So if he looks bad against the Titans, I'm starting to worry a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. Let's hit these other questions. Yo, go ahead.
They need to trade for a receiver, though. Anybody. I mean, anybody.
Mike Evans? Hall of Famer Mike Evans? I wouldn't wish that on him.
Listen here, we're not speaking that into existence, all right?
I wasn't even gonna say that. I mean, I'm just saying.
Hey, I'm just saying. You talk about trade and wide receiver. That's the first thing that pops in my mind.
I mean, but they do. They need to go get a receiver from somebody that they can bring in because they don't have none, and that's the problem.
Yeah, it gets real iffy after Amari Cooper.
Yes, it does.
Superflex League. Who are y'all going with? Justin Fields or Russell Wilson? I'm Russell Wilson.
I don't want nothing to do with Justin Fields.
Not even a little bit.
Oh, nothing.
Yeah. Justin Fields is the king of preseason, and he'll probably start rushing again a lot towards the end of the year. But I ain't trying to wait on that.
I didn't buy into the hype. I said I don't know how everybody think he's gonna make this miraculous jump. He didn't
because he had DJ Moore now. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
We shut down DJ Moore 2 times a year. I wasn't afraid of him.
How did DJ Moore work out for his quarterbacks last year?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking that he was going to be the end-all, be-all.
Yeah,
to make the jump.
Yeah, I expected to see more from Justin Fields than what we've seen, but I didn't expect him to make it because they were saying he's going to make a Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen type jump. I was like,
nah,
that ain't happening. So we'll see. Let's see. You got I guess that's Josh Kelly, Robert Woods, Jalen Warren, Kendre Miller, Thielen, Adam Thielen. You need one running back and one flex. Who are y'all picking from that spot?
Say those names again.
Josh Kelly, Robert Woods, Jalen Warren, Kendre Miller, Adam Thielen. One running back, one flex.
So let me tell you about that. The one player I was able to get was Joshua Kelly, and I was excited.
You were disappointed, I'm sure, afterwards.
I said, okay, he took over this game and put up numbers, and then because I had Eckler, and nothing whatsoever. So he's dead to me right now.
We're talking injury, navigating injury, and one of the things people rush to do a lot in fantasy football is, oh, this player got hurt. Let me grab the backup.
Yep.
Josh Kelly just showed you why that doesn't always work out.
But week one, when Eckler went out, he went off, though.
In the end of that game.
At the end of the game.
Yeah. When nobody was planning for Joshua Kelly. Given a week to prep, I mean, and like I said, it wasn't a bad move. I'm not trying to say, oh, you messed up getting Joshua Kelly. I'm just saying that sometimes that doesn't work out as well as you think, because there's a reason these guys are the backups. Case in point, I'm going to talk to you a little bit, Rodney, because I know you're coming around to my side. At the beginning of the year, people were talking about Alexander Madison. Oh, he's going to be the guy up in Minnesota. He's now number one after being the backup this whole time. And what did I say? Go back and watch the film, everybody. I was like, there's a reason Alexander Madison is the backup, and they never got him involved in the game unless Dalvin Cook was out. He's not that good.
Well, guess what? As of a couple hours ago, he's
back again. And you brought it right back to my next point with the news breaking right before the show. They got Cam Akers over there, and we said this about Cam Akers. Sean McVay just hates Cam Akers' guts. So now he's in a place where I think he might, if you have Cam Akers and you've been waiting, this might actually turn out pretty good for you.
I think they got mid and they done traded for some mid. It's all right. You traded a bum before a bum already had a bum. It's okay.
Well,
right.
Picked up Cam Akers, right? In True Warriors.
Oh no.
I didn't even attempt. I didn't even attempt to go for him. I didn't even attempt to go for that.
I picked him up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I think it's worth a pickup.
I got Alexander Madison, so that's why I picked him up, because I got both. I'm gonna see how it work out, and then I'm gonna drop one of them at some point.
You can drop both of them. I guarantee nobody pick them up.
That's all right. I'm fine with that. I play that game. I got a bunch of running backs. You can holler at me though. You know.
One thing I say about this new NFL, you cannot have too many running backs, because as we're seeing from the way these weeks have gone, you're always gonna need somebody, because someone's gonna get hurt in that group. So
that's true.
Look, I never have less than 4 running backs. I usually try to have 5. I want at least 2 running backs on the bench, good quality running backs, because I'm gonna have to fill in, because it's a reason they don't want to pay these guys. I see Nita saying they should all sit out until they get paid.
That's not happening.
They might be sit. They did have that phone call in the off season where they were discussing, hey, we got to come up with a plan. But I forget the year. When are they gonna redo this CBA? It's a long time. I think 2030.
2020.
Yes, I think it's like
29 or 2030.
It's like 2030. It's a long doggone
hard.
time from now. So yeah, I think they're just gonna have to suck it up. But,
very much.
I also see you mentioning that Bears hold off on the Bears story because there's a lot of conflicting stories on how true that is. So we'll wait and see what happens. But I will say Justin Fields on the Bears. We'll see. The Bears. Some franchises are bad, like the Browns. So I don't know. Of course, I'm one to talk. The Raiders haven't been good in 20 years. So what do I know?
Let me ask you this, both of y'all.
Yeah.
Now, is it Justin Fields? Does he get all the blame, or is it Chicago not putting the necessary pieces around him as far as offensive line, receivers? Finally did some receivers here, but is it the fact that they have a defensive-minded head coach for a head coach, or should they go get an offensive-minded coach to coach him? I mean, what is it? What's the problem?
I can only speak for last week because he played my squad.
Yeah.
The throws were there. The windows were there. The receivers were open. He just wasn't throwing the ball.
Okay.
He just wasn't throwing it. Like, I was watching the breakdown and watching people comment where you saw the window, you saw him pat the ball, like he's getting ready to throw it. So it's either they said he's thinking too much or he's not trusting what he's seeing.
There was one, a picture can be deceiving, but there's this one picture going around with a wide open wide receiver. Justin Fields just sitting there, and he ended up taking a sack on that play.
Yeah, DJ Moore.
Yeah. And it's just some of it's got to go back to him.
He's looking right at it.
Looking right at, yeah. So
yeah, Justin Fields got a hold of this one.
I'm just asking because I know.
Yeah, he needs some people around him, but there's enough there. Hey, I tell you this, going back to your coaching comment, I own everything I say. My problem with Anthony Richardson earlier was I don't think he had the talent around him. I didn't think they were gonna use him effectively because a lot of times people have their systems. I'm talking about Josh McDaniels. I'm talking about a coach like Kyle Shanahan. I have my system. This is what we're running. I don't care who the quarterback is. And I didn't know because, the Colts, they have a new coach. I didn't know where they're going to work around Anthony Richardson. I like what I've been seeing from a coaching perspective of how, except for the fact that he keeps getting hurt every game, but I think he just needs to learn when to take a hit, when to not take a hit. But I think they're doing a better job with their talent than I've seen the Bears do with Justin Fields. But at the same time, he's got to own, like you said, there's simple things that he's doing, holding the ball, not making his decisions fast enough, and it's a split, I think.
Okay.
They can put more talent there, but it's not going to help until he starts doing his right thing. So.
Well, and I think part of that is, I think that's part of it. He needs to hit the open guy. Yeah. But it's the open window in NFL is really not that long. So I mean, obviously that's part of it. I guess help on the O line, and he's never really had
that offensive line is not good.
Yeah, I don't think he's had a great O line since he's been there, and I don't think they helped him in that situation at all by getting good O linemen. Now I know they drafted a few this year, but we don't know how good they are. But a lot of can be put on him, and a lot of should be put on him, but a lot of also is on the organization to put better O linemen, not even just skill players, but O linemen in front of him to help him get through those progressions. And then he got to go through the progressions and find the players. So, I mean, that's just the question. That's the way I look at it, though. So, I don't know.
All right. Well, we've gotten through all the questions. If I missed somebody, hey, put it back in and let me see. But we kind of threw in a bunch of NFL news as we were going through questions, but do we have any NFL news stories that we left out?
Nope, we talked about them through the questions.
We talked
like Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is out for the year. Obviously, Kareem Hunt. The running back injuries.
And quarterback injuries. What we talked a little bit about Joe Burrow earlier. Of course, everybody knows Aaron Rodgers is out. For the rest of the year. But what about in some of the, like I said, I mentioned Anthony Richardson with the concussion, hopefully back and ready for next week. They're talking another young guy, CJ Stroud, with a shoulder injury. So if you have him, you might why I think he's gonna. They say he should probably be fine as well.
He's fine.
They're limiting him, making sure he's all right. Any other quarterback injuries of note? I think those are the main ones. I think
the rest of them are good. We can hit these quarterbacks of the week, though.
We can talk about some players. What are they doing?
Let's go. We got the quarterbacks of the week. C.J. Stroud, 30 of 47, 384, 2 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins is on the list again, man. 31 of 44, 364, 4 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins balling, but I ain't gonna lie.
Do you know I have a team with Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson, and still somehow managed to lose this week?
Kirk Cousins balling.
I had Kirk on my bench.
Oh, who were you starting though?
Who you starting?
Tua.
I ain't mad at that.
Quarterback.
I ain't mad at that. Okay.
Gino with the bounce back game, 32 of 41, 328, 2 touchdowns. Jared Goff, 28 of 35, 323, 3 touchdowns. Daniel Jones, boy. 26 of 37, 321, 2 touchdowns.
I did not think you were going to mention Daniel Jones. I thought you were going to be a hater. I wrote down Daniel Jones, strictly said, I know he's not going to want to talk about him. Good job, you.
Be a hater.
I'm applauding you.
And I want to shout out, because we got Mr. Tampa Bay on the line tonight. Baker, halfway Mayfield.
Wake and bake, baby. Wake and bake.
I can't. I wasn't gonna do this. I really wasn't gonna do this, man. I was gonna stick to my guns, and I wasn't gonna talk about Baker Mayfield.
Is this just because the third man is here?
No, I mean I got a shout out because I dog Baker Mayfield a lot, so I hold that. He did well. He went over 300 yards and he had a touch. So good game from Baker.
Should have been 2, but Hall of Fame Mike Evans, he couldn't get the giddy up on. He was a little slow.
So we're gonna. I'm shout him out.
I'm gonna give our third man a chance to brag and boast, but I just want to say, I did not have the Bucs being 2-0 to start the year. We were having a conversation before when I was straight out. Somebody asked me about Baker Mayfield. I was like, I wouldn't put Baker Mayfield on my fantasy football team if you paid me. I was like, no. I said he's a bum. And I said, I did say I'm going to pick up their wide receivers because I got Mike Evans in like 5 leagues. Because hey, I believe that Mike Evans, Hall of Famer, Mike Evans is going to be good no matter who the quarterback is. But Baker been balling.
I ain't gonna lie.
Guys, I told you at the start of the season, there's no pressure on him. Like, he's not the guy. He's not coming in to be the number 1 pick. There's no progressive commercials. There's nothing. There's no injuries. He knows he's here to be replaced. There's no pressure. He knows if I play good, I get a contract. I play bad, the Bucs get a top 3 pick. Like, he knows, and I'm going, like, he knows there's no pressure. He just gets to play. He's healthy. There's no shoulder injury. He's never played with a receiver as good as Mike Evans.
He has not.
He has not.
Because he did not have OBJ in his prime. So yeah, this is brand new territory.
I'm tired of that. What was his prime?
With the Giants. That season with the Giants.
When I say Mike Evans is better than Odell, people look at me like I'm crazy. Besides the catch against the Giants.
No, he was with the Giants when he made the catch.
I mean, against the Cowboys. What else? Yeah. What else we got? He always hurt. He's a diva. What else we got?
I mean, you right.
I had a whole segment on this a few years ago, telling people that Jarvis Landry is a better wide receiver than Odell Beckham Jr.
Yes,
and he's more reliable. And I'm 100% with you. Yes.
Yes, I agree with you.
What else do we have? So he's never played. First of all, what is Odell? 6 foot?
About 6'1",
6 foot. He had him and Landry. They both the same height. So you ain't got nobody can go up there and make a play for you. Like, Mike Evans is that dude.
Yeah.
So come on, Hall of Fame, Mike Evans. Excuse me, Mike. I apologize.
Yeah, always got to throw that HOF in front. It's disrespectful to not say Hall of Fame, right?
So we'll see what happens Monday night. We get a real test Monday night.
Yeah.
As long as
I'm about to say that's going to be the test of tests right there.
Well, the Eagles are 2-0, but they haven't looked that dominant.
Now let me ask you about the Eagles. Let's stay with the Eagles for a few seconds.
All right.
A lot of people are complaining that the Eagles are running too much and they're not throwing the ball enough in this era of football where it's throwing a lot. They saying that the fans of the Eagles are saying that they're not throwing the ball enough. How y'all feel about that? Because I think it's crazy. They winning games.
This is football. You play to your strengths. You play. If you
have you seen that offensive line? Exactly.
Yeah. If you got an old line like you could put me back there, I could probably get you 50 again. I could probably get you about 50. Like their O line is amazing. Why would you not run the ball? Yeah. And they got about 6 running backs on the roster that they use all of them.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I just find it funny that the fans of the team are saying why y'all not throwing the ball. I guess because you have AJ Brown and you have DeVonta Smith. DeVonta Smith. Mm-hmm. So you have those guys. And you want those guys to get the ball, but they complaining like, "Hey man, we need you to throw the ball a little bit more." And does that hurt Jalen Hurts' value?
Not to me.
Okay.
Because Jalen. They got this play, what is it, the smush push? Look, they are undefeated when you have 1 yard to go, quarterback sneak, and he gets a lot of touchdowns off that. So I'm not worried about it at all. And he throws the ball enough to justify having him as your number 1 quarterback. So I don't care what fans are saying. I don't care what anyone's saying. I hate to sound like Arthur Smith. I'm not worried about your fantasy football teams. I'm worried about winning games. And doggone it.
Stupid. Oh my God.
The Eagles are going to win games running behind that offensive line. So stop it.
But they're winning, but they don't look that dominant to me like they did like last year. They're winning, but they haven't looked crazy to me, bro. Like they're unbeatable.
Okay. No, they're definitely not that. I give you that. But hey,
I give us a fair shot.
Since I know you're going to have to head out in about 10 minutes or so, we're gonna go through all the games and say fantasy players that we like for each of them and pick winners. What's your prediction, Bucks Eagles? Who's winning that game?
You wanted me to be the fan, or you want me to be the third man?
I want you to be the third man. Tell us what you think, and then you can throw in your fandom while you're at it.
I think they get us by a touchdown. Eagles 7, Eagles +7.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a dogfight, though, but I believe they'll get us by a touchdown. They'll get us by a touchdown. Our defense is a little more gritty than people giving us credit for.
I love y'all defense. I think they're opportunistic.
Jay Jetta, if you notice, Jay Jetta was going crazy that first half. Second half, he only had 2. Once we made our adjustments, he only had 2 yards.
Yeah.
In the second half, we shut down the Bears last week, but that's not saying much. But our defense is a little more gritty than people give us credit for.
I like your honesty, man, about your team, man. We know somebody.
I'm not Steve. I'm not Steve. I'm always
we know somebody that come up here and say, you know what, it's gonna be all right. We're gonna win. So I can dig that, but it's a stab at my brother. But it's cool. It's cool. We good with that.
I'm not him. I'm not him. I'm always honest.
Okay, I can take that.
Let's hit back to some of these questions coming in. What's the deal with Austin Ekeler? He has an ankle injury.
Can I say something about these running backs? My homie made a great point about these running backs, because when Saquon went down, everybody was afraid.
Yeah.
Like, not again. Then the Giants came out and said he avoided injury. It's just a regular ankle sprain. Everybody in this room is athletes. We've all played with a sprained ankle.
Yeah.
And then they said 3 weeks. And then we said, sprained ankle, 3 weeks. And then it was like, and he said, yeah, when you want a 1-year deal, it take about 3 weeks to heal an ankle. And I was like, you know what? You're right.
Good point. Good point.
I was like, so all these, they're going to take their sweet time coming, but you don't want to pay me. I'm going to take my sweet time coming back. Yeah, and I can't even be mad at you. You got to protect you first.
Hey, the owners are coming from it saying it's a business. We can't put in all this money for whatever. Running backs need to have that same mentality. It's a business. I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I'll be
back. Because if you remember with Ekeler, they was like, oh, he'll be back next week. Then it just, there's no timetable. Well, which one is it? Something's going on. Which one is it?
Because Eckler's in the same situation. He's basically on a 1-year deal.
Yeah. So right.
He could be a free agent next year. So I don't blame him. Take your time. I mean,
don't take your time. No,
I got Eckler in a few leagues, but my thing is this: Eckler is one of the most honest guys about fantasy football.
He's great for that.
You should pick up Joshua Kelly. He told us that.
He's very he was wrong. He was wrong, definitely, but he would tell you, and that's what I love about Eckler. He goes on shows and talks about fans. He said that he played against himself.
That's what it was the funniest thing because he'll go on. He's like he's in the joint. He can't even get himself in his fantasy league. I was like,
in his own fantasy league. He was like, nah, I can't even get myself. He was like, man, that's crazy.
And so another year had a top pick. Went against my gut, didn't get CMC, and got Eckler. And look, this always happens to me. Yeah. I'm gonna just go ahead and get the white man from now on. I'm gonna stop.
It's always the decision you didn't make. I got burnt by that one.
I'm gonna stop playing. Every year I have a chance to get CMC. I'm just gonna get him. I'm gonna stop playing around now.
Hey, oh my gosh!
In one of my leagues, he was sitting there. I think I had like the 4th or the 5th pick, or something like that, and people were avoiding him. I was like, CMC, smash that button. I'm like,
you said the 6th pick?
No, 4th. It was like the 4th or 5th. I can't remember. I think I was the 4th, but it was no lower than 5th.
Low. That's still 5th pick. No
exactly.
Way. No way.
A couple of picks because this is a league where you start. Actually, it's crazy in this league where you can actually start 3 quarterbacks because you start 2 and then they have a super flex spot. And so people were trying to go quarterbacks. I was like, CMC is there looking at me.
3 quarters. Ain't no quarterbacks left on the turn. Everybody gone.
So I was like, I'm CMC all the way. And by the way, I'm undefeated in that league. I'm just going to pat myself on the back right there. CMC, let's get this championship. Nice. Randy Miller, welcome to the show. Thanks for waiting. I'm sorry it took so long to get to your question. He's looked into Amon-Ra St. Brown's turf. Has anyone looked into his turf toe issue? He had metal in his shoe in the Sunday game and didn't practice today, which I think. I say one thing about we're not talking running backs right now, but Josh Jacobs, I think it was a couple of years ago, had a turf toe issue. That turf toe can be nasty, and you have to limit how much you practice with it, but you can play a whole season on it.
It just hurt.
Exactly. It's good. Exactly.
Hurt. I think he's tough.
What do y'all think?
He plays. So
yeah. I haven't done a whole thing on Amon-Ra St. Brown, but other than just what's known stuff. But I think he'll be fine. But on that team, what do y'all think about Josh Reynolds and what he's been producing these first couple of weeks?
I like Josh Reynolds, but can he keep it up until Jameson Williams come back, or do they fight for those catches? Because he's gonna have to fight for that when Jameson come back, because Jameson is a better receiver than him.
He is.
So Jameson, who can he hold on to it when Jameson come back is the question for me.
Yeah, that same thing. I don't know how that's gonna work out with Gibbs taking over, and then with Jameson coming back, and Amon-Ra St. he's still there. So it's a lot of passes to be thrown.
It's a lot.
And they can only throw so much.
Yeah. Now, I will say, I was reading something I hadn't thought about. Josh Reynolds does have sort of a chemistry with Jared Goff from them playing together before. So that might get him. So that can we've seen where that can get you somewhere, even though you're not the most talented of wide receivers, if you have that kind of chemistry. But I think it's an interesting dynamic. But like you said, when Jameson Williams gets back, it's going to be tough to see between the three of them. Especially if this turf toe lingers. I hope we don't see Amon-Ra St. Brown miss any time with it, but we'll see. Thanks for the question, Randy Miller. We appreciate it. You did quarterbacks. What about running? You got any running backs you want to shout out?
Let's go. We got DeAndre Swift. He came out of nowhere. 28 carries, 175, a touchdown. You know what the bad part is? I could have picked him up the night before that and won my game.
I'm about to say,
I was really upset about that.
Is it the SMFL? Because we know a guy who dropped DeAndre Swift right before that game.
Like, wait a minute.
And I was like, oh, you got to feel so dumb right now seeing put up that 175.
So we got Bijan at 19 carries, 124 yards. This is a surprise one for me. James Cook, because we know Buffalo don't run the ball.
But what did I say always?
If
you have a running back going against the Raiders, and we discussed it last week because it was like does the rule apply with the Bills because they don't like to really use their running backs like that? The rule still applies. If you have a running back going against the Raiders, you put him in. I'm talking to you, Matt Canada, specifically in Pittsburgh. If you have a running back and you're playing the Raiders, you feed that running back. And if you have Najee Harris in your leagues and he's on your bench, because I know some people who have him on their bench, you better put him in the starting spot this week.
So, Jasper, I'm gonna take your advice. I'm gonna start him not only in my fantasy league. I'm gonna pick him up in FanDuel. He better cash in for me.
And I say one thing, and if he does it, I'm coming. I don't know where Matt Canada lives, but I'm coming by his house. We're gonna have some words.
Oh my God!
Oh, don't worry. The Pittsburgh fans are already looking for his address. Don't even worry about that.
We gonna start a rally going straight to because this is a no-brainer.
Exactly.
What else you got? Who else you got?
James Cook. He had 17 carries, 123.
Yeah.
Raheem Mostert, 18 carries, 121, 2 touchdowns. That he balled. I can't be mad at that. And CMC, 20 carries. He's the whole team basically, 116 and a touchdown. So, yeah.
I want to act.
That Miami offense doesn't even look fair with that amount of motion.
Bro, let me tell you something, man.
I'm like, why is everybody moving? Stay still. Just that motion is crazy.
They are so fast, and the thing is, Tua had a bad game for his standards. He had a bad game. And the thing about it is, he still would have hit 300 if he would have just hit on a few passes.
Yeah,
that's the crazy part. And you could tell they really don't want to run the football, but they only did it by choice because they was doing it so well.
Yeah.
So, but if they would have wanted to throw the ball all night, they would have. But Raheem Mostert was just running the ball. He was gashing that D line.
If it's working, you go with it.
Yes.
And since we're talking to Dolphins, I want to, because like I said, I like to own my comments. I think I'm the one that said the Dolphins don't have a defense.
Yeah, you did.
I'm not understanding what happened in that game because I had Mac Jones throwing 3 touchdowns because that defense the Dolphins defense looked so bad the week before, and they were so bad last year. I think, aren't you, Shaq, the one that said that this might be it for Bill Belichick?
Yep.
He is right on point with that, though.
I'm like, how do y'all let this go? Because I still am convinced they don't have a defense, but they look like the '85 Bears in a lot of they just was crashing through the line like it was nothing. The whole game was like, y'all can't scheme something to stop this. What's happening? But I don't know.
I don't know. Shaq might be on to something though.
He might be on to something.
The way they looking, man, it don't look too tough for.
Bill's style of football, it just don't work no more. You got to come up with something else.
Well, I think
he's stubborn.
I think it's Bill's fault though. He ain't bring. Their receiving core
it's terrible, and it's been terrible for a while.
I mean,
Mac Jones, he's won Super Bowls with bad wide receiving cores, but he had Tom Brady.
That's what happens when you have Tom Brady.
Yeah, exactly.
When you have Tom Brady.
You got Mac Jones now. You gotta come up on the other end. But
I mean, but that's true. That's like Shaq was saying. Shaq, he make a good point. It's a new era of football, and he's not trying to come with it. He's staying where he at. He's trying to pay bargain prices for receivers when you need to get these good receivers out there. Mac Jones, will he good? The question is, will he look good with better receivers? We don't know. He did it at Alabama, but obviously it ain't Alabama.
Yeah.
But will he look better with better receivers? Probably he would. We don't know that. So. But he's not getting that opportunity to look better because they won't get him receivers. And I don't even think Mac Jones is a good quarterback for real. I'm just saying. Like, he don't have the receivers. Those receivers, all of them are like third wide receivers for real. Wide receiver threes.
Devontae Parker ain't been it since when, and that's his best weapon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So no. Before we go, I want to hit on wide receivers because he gonna appreciate it. For
Hall of Famer Mike Evans, top of the list.
Hall of Fame Mike Evans on the list. See how the love I'm showing. See, when you don't come on, we don't show love to Tampa Bay, but now you up here. I'm gonna show you some love.
We show love to Mike Evans. He's trained us enough. We always show love to Mike Evans. The rest of the team, not so much.
Mike Evans, 6 receptions, 171 and a touchdown. Jefferson doing it again. 11 receptions, 159. Do you find it weird that Jefferson never hits double-digit touchdowns?
It could be like the Julio effect. Like Julio never gave you touchdowns either. Like he's gonna get you the yards. He's gonna get you the PPR. But Julio never gave you a lot of touchdowns either.
This is true.
At all. It could be that he's just not the red zone guy, which I find crazy.
I mean, he gets about, I think he had 8 touchdowns last year. I think he had 8 the year before that.
Yeah.
I find it weird that he never hits double digits for all of the yards and all the receptions he gets. I find that weird. But it's my thinking.
You want to know what's weird? In one of my leagues, somebody offered me Alvin Kamara straight up for Justin Jefferson. I had that. This is our fraternity league.
Okay.
And I was trying to think of the perfect way to tell him no because like reject just seems too easy of a let go.
If this wasn't a family show, I could tell you how to tell him no. But I'll tell you off air how to tell him.
Yeah, we're discussing because I'm like, this you've got to be joking, or you just think I'm an idiot. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We all do. You know that first trade, you throw some suckiness out there.
You got to. You see if they're gonna take the bait.
He's self-fooled. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
Take the bait. He took the bait for that one.
I was not even expecting him to say yeah, but yeah, okay.
All right, so my next one is Puka, right?
Yeah.
Puka had 15 receptions, 147 in the touch. So I had a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
In one of the leagues earlier, right? He plays in the gridiron. And he was telling me he had some really good receivers, but he was like, man, I really want Puka. I was like, why? He was like, man, because I just think Puka good. I was like, okay, that's cool. He was like, I was like, but you do know in about 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, Cooper Kupp is coming back, right? And once Cooper Kupp come back, all this Puka talk gonna come to an end at some point. Because you know Cooper Kupp is probably going to get you about 15, 18 targets a game from Matthew Stafford. He was like, nah, man, I think he's going to throw to Puka too. I say, man, they signed Allen Robinson to $12 million a year, and they threw him the ball twice a game. I was like, I don't know about that. But I said, you can make the trade if you want to. But I said, I wouldn't do it. How do y'all feel about that?
Somebody tried to trade me Puka for Travis Etienne. And I said, number one, no. Is what you mean he's he tried to sell it, which I respected. He tried to go into car salesman mode. And I was like, like you said, in about 2-3 weeks, when Kupp comes back, that's over with. And number two, I try to compare, like he's only getting off because there's no tape on him. Once them DCs start getting tape, and all that, they can start game planning. It's over for all that Puka stuff. Like, yeah, he good, but I compare it to Linsanity. Linsanity was going crazy for about 10 days, right?
Yeah.
He went on a rampage, just like the Wildcat formation. When the Dolphins first started doing Wildcat, nobody could stop it. It was going crazy. And then Belichick's second half of the season, Belichick started watching tape.
And figured it out.
and figured it out.
Yeah.
So once people start getting tape on him, it's over. And when Kupp comes back, it's over.
I mean, that's the biggest thing for me. Kupp is coming back, and he's gonna get his receptions back. That's why I'm like, even if you got Puka, if somebody asks for Puka, you better sell high, and I mean sell high quick.
You always sell high, yeah.
So you better sell high quick because you better.
Yeah.
I told somebody, Justin asked me. I said, you better sell high and get a player that you can use for the whole year. Because what you're going to do, you're going to sucker that person into getting Puka from you. And he's going to be in the end, in about 2 weeks, he can be like, man, I made the worst trade of the year because I gave up something that I could have kept for a whole year. So if you got Puka, that's great. Sell high. And I mean sell high quick. Within the next week or two, you better sell. Matter of fact, you should be thinking about it this week coming up to sell high, to try to get something going for you, because that would be my move.
I for disclosure, I have Puka in one of my leagues, but it's a league so stacked with wide receivers. I'm trying to think how I know I didn't start him first week because I don't even think I had him. I think I picked him up after the first week, and I don't even think I started him week 2 because this is a team where I sent you this team before, Rodney. That team is just loaded at wide receiver. And so it's like I don't really need a Puka, but I'm holding him specifically. And this is to let everybody know that's in that league with me. He's up there. The trade is ready whenever y'all want him. I think there's a chance that he still is productive later into the season, though, only because we don't really know that the time frame for injury reserve says Cooper Kupp is coming back in a couple of weeks, but that injury and going back to some of his history says that could nag and linger on. So it might be Puka time longer than expected. And even when he gets back, I'm hoping that Matt Stafford has built enough chemistry that he's going to still be fantasy football relevant. He ain't going to be what he's been once Cooper Kupp is there, but I hope he's still fantasy football relevant. But we'll see where it goes.
I say no, because me and you both on this show have said the one thing about Matthew Stafford is he has tunnel vision.
And that's why Puka's being so explosive.
Yes.
Because the tunnel vision has shifted to Puka right now, and it's all Puka all the time.
Mm-hmm. But when Cooper Kupp come back, the tunnel vision is gonna switch to Cooper Kupp.
Probably.
And that's the thing that is gonna be bad for Puka. But I mean, that's neither here nor there. That's how people feel. But also, we move on to Nico Collins. 7 receptions, 146, and a touchdown. I like Nico Collins. They came out of nowhere, honestly, personally, but I like it. Can he do it again is the question, though.
It's going to be spotty with him just because, like, the rookie is going to be spotty. He'll give you a game here and there, but it's too risky to put him in your starting lineup. Way too risky.
You think so? I mean, is he the favorite target for CJ right now?
I don't know if CJ. I don't know whether it's definitely Nico Collins is the favorite target.
Does he have a favorite?
Yeah.
I mean, he don't. I thought Robert Woods was at first, but Robert Woods get a lot of the underneath throws. Yeah. Nico Collins a lot of the over top. So, I would say you're right. He might not have a favorite at this moment, but who does he feel comfortable the most with? I would say Robert Woods, in my opinion. But yeah. And my last one is CeeDee Lamb, 11 receptions, 143. He's another one that don't get no touchdowns either. That's confusing to me, but he had a big game. Dak came out, had a good game. So that's all I got for receivers, man. What y'all think?
You gave my guy credit, so I care less about the rest of the list.
I knew that was coming, Lord have mercy.
On that note, my fellas, it's I'm getting summoned.
All right, brother. Thanks for joining us for the first hour and 10 minutes.
Third man is here. Everybody, good luck except you, Rodney, this week in fantasy.
I mean, what I do?
Because your league is cursed, man, and I believe you've been putting the Hojo on my teams, man.
I mean, I want you there, man. You be all right, man. You got to get it together.
A-Rod, Nick Chubb, Saquon. I'm gonna keep saying it.
It's not me,
not
man.
Good.
Not me,
gentlemen. Y'all be easy, man.
All right, be easy. Thanks.
See y'all next week, family.
All right,
peace out. Yo, I am having some fun today trying to get this stuff together.
It's all good, man. We still working through it, so it's cool. Big deal.
I think that's better. Anyway, we went through all that stuff. I'm assuming you didn't have any tight end love you wanted to give this week, because it's Canada. It's becoming to that point. Look, Hunter Henry is the best tight end in fantasy football, and like that lets you know.
Let me ask you a question about tight ends.
Yeah. Travis Kelce, he's coming back healthy.
No, not even that.
What you got?
But are they becoming? You know how you say a defense is interchangeable, and kickers are
tight ends.
Week to week, are tight ends becoming interchangeable week to week?
If the name isn't Travis Kelce, yes.
Outside of Kelce, let's
outside of, and I think we've kind of alluded to that. After Travis Kelce, there's a huge gap, and it doesn't really matter who you're tight. And I've used this strategy for the last few years. If I don't get Travis Kelce and sometimes I make allowances for a few other guys like a Mark
Yeah.
Andrews maybe at the top.
Definitely.
I wait, and you see me. I just be putting together scraps at tight end, not really cared because it's like no one else is going to get tight end points either. So for me, it's not even and I've broken this down for everybody before, but it bears repeating. Fantasy football is a numbers game. I need to win at certain positions. And so tight end, much like you said about streaming defenses and kickers, is one of those things where, hey, those numbers are not going to be, except for the guys at the top. Like I said, Travis Kelce is different. He puts up wide receivers numbers on a regular basis. But everyone else, look, I'm just trying to compete. I'm going to put my focus and my concentration on players that can stand out at their position. And like you said, tight end is not it right now. But we got a question come in before we go on. Thanks, J.K. Alex, for joining us. Hey, everybody, if you haven't already, we appreciate the likes. We hit the subscribe. We much appreciate it. Here, J.K. has a question. You rather have Derrick Henry or Bijan in PPR? That's a good one. That's a tough one because we are some Derrick Henry loving fools, and yes. Derrick Henry is the one guy who defies all PPR logic. Logic says don't go Derrick Henry PPR, and you throw that logic out the window because Derrick Henry does his thing. What do you think though? This year, I'm assuming that I'm gonna take. Look, I want to make this an easy question to say, oh, well, if it's dynasty, then of course you go Bijan Robinson. But I'm guessing that's not the question, so it gets harder in the redraft.
I'll say this, man. Yeah, I'll say this. I'm riding with Derrick Henry on this one, and hear me out. Derrick Henry, even at this point in his career, because he did it last year too, Derrick Henry can win you a game by himself easily. The way they use him in Tennessee with the 25 to 30 carries a game, he's gonna get that every week. It's consistent. Now with Bijan, he's splitting carries. Pretty much he's splitting carries with Tyler Algier. They already said that. I just feel like, me personally, I'm going Derrick Henry because I'm plugging in Derrick Henry, and I know he's going to get those carries. And what people don't understand is this. Derrick Henry has been getting you about 400 yards and probably about 30 to 40 receptions a piece over the last 2 years. So a lot of people don't think of him as a PPR running back, but he still gets about 400 yards, and that was pretty high for all running backs last year. Yeah. So for me, I'm saying Henry, but I like Bijan. I just don't like the split back there. He's going to get his fair share, obviously, in that split. Yeah. But Derrick can win you a game by himself, man. I've seen him go for 200, 225 and just explode. He's that good. I understand the injury, but he's tough, man. He's tough as nails, man. He came back from a foot injury there. He was supposed to be out for a whole season. I don't think a toe is going to stop him. So, no.
Yeah, I understand it. My bigger risk with Derrick Henry is, running backs hit an age and they start to go off a cliff. But I'm not really that concerned. I'm also a little bit concerned about the offense with the Titans because, Ryan Tannehill is not a threat to anyone. And so, it gets to the point where you know it's coming. But we've known Derrick Henry was coming year in, year out. And he's still – and unlike – people can't stop it. 8 in the box. Okay, cool. He still makes things happen. And that's why – exactly. That's why he's King Henry. It's a tough call, though, because we love Derrick Henry because we were talking. I don't know if you were with us earlier in the show, JK. We were talking about how running backs just aren't getting carries this year. And we said it's collusion that they don't want to pay running backs. They don't want to pay running backs, so good running backs are getting like 10 carries a game. That ain't Derrick Henry. They get him the ball. He actually didn't have a lot of carries that first week. They only gave him 15, which is the most other running backs get. That was a low number for him. Last week, he was back to his regular stuff at 25, and I think we're going to see those bigger numbers because that's basically all they have. They have Derrick Henry, and that's what makes that thing go. But to counter, the good thing about Bijan Robinson is Arthur Smith does not like throwing the ball unless he absolutely has to. So we talked earlier that there's room for both Bijan and Tyler Algier to coexist in that offense, and I think Bijan's just going to put up massive numbers. But since you posed the question, I have to pick one. If I have to pick one, I'm gonna still go with King Henry. Until the king gets dethroned.
You gotta go King Henry.
I gotta go. I mean, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I ain't gonna lie to you.
No hate. And the thing is, it's no hate for Bijan. It's just, look, man. I played fantasy for a long time, and it was some years where I was like, yo, I'm not touching Derrick Henry because he's not a PPR guy, and he just don't do it for me. And I was like. And it got to a point where I gave in, and I was like, you know what? We both gave in. We was like, look, you know what? Derrick Henry's for real, bro. He is the truth. And it's been games, man, that in our league, he got like 70, 80 points just rushing.
Yeah.
And I lost because of him. And every year I'd be like, man, you know what? That was an anomaly, bro. It was just one game. But now I'd be like, here, do it again to me. And I'd be like, bro, I gotta get him this year. And ever since then, I've been trusting in Derrick Henry. I'm not going against Derrick Henry. I'm not doing it.
I can't. Now, we were doing that for the season. What about this week with the Titans playing the Browns in that defensive line, and then you got the Falcons playing against the Lions? This week, I might go Bijan.
I mean, I'm going Derrick because I just think they can't throw the ball. They're going to make Tannehill, even if they throw 8 in the box, I still think Derrick Henry's still going to get his.
Yeah.
He's just that good of a running back. I want to say he's matchup proof, in my opinion.
If there's a guy who is.
I think he's matchup proof, in my opinion, though. So for me.
Jake also says that they have Nico late in. I think Nico Collins was a great late round pickup.
Pick.
Sometimes and then in the draft we kind of just throwing darts out there trying to see what it takes.
Late, yeah.
And Nico Collins is one of those late league draft picks that might win you a season. So that's a good one. We were talking about him earlier in the show. It's kind of hard with a rookie quarterback knowing who's going to be that guy. And I think we're just talking about, is it Robert Woods? Is it Nico Collins? Is it Tank Dell? And you might not. But hey, if he keeps having weeks like last week, it can be all of them. So it's going to be interesting to see. We got a question from Orlando Lewis. Hey, we got a good question here. This is for that. Hey, shout out to the Women's Fantasy Football League. There's some great viewers. They have Herbert, Justin Herbert, Christian McCaffrey, Alexander Madison. I think that's AJ Brown, Curtis Samuel, DJ Goddard, Javonte Williams, the Bills defense, and Matt Gay is the kicker. Okay. Let's see. Do they need to change the lineup? I get it. Go back up. Yeah, I just say, hold it. This is not where it started at. Yeah. At the top, they need to change the lineup with Geno Smith, Joe Mixon, AJ Dillon, Tyler Lockett, Michael Thomas, Freiermuth, Ramondre Stevenson, the Eagles defense, and McPherson. That's it. Okay, so it's two different leagues. I like both of those lineups. The question would come in: who would you replace if you're asking for a change? The question is: who would you sub in off your bench to fill these spots? I like these slots. The players you have, Geno, like we said earlier in the show, came back alive. So I think we said before that Geno Smith has too many good wide receivers to be bad. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of the opposite of Mac Jones, where Mac Jones has no one to throw to.
Bingo.
Geno has, look, cover your eyes and just throw it down. Somebody down there just going to get it.
Definitely got one.
So he got those guys. I'm actually hoping DK picks it up a little bit. It's only been 2 weeks. But I this is the year I predicted really big DK numbers. But I love Tyler Lockett as well. He just consistently
the one guy I would try to take out of the lineup is AJ Dillon.
Yeah.
AJ Dillon. Yeah, I would try to find another running back on waiver or something to take out for A.J. Dillon. He had a chance last week to prove to be the number one guy.
And if he didn't do it last week,
no, he didn't show up.
Michael Thomas is another one of those hit or miss guys, but I
still,
I'm about to say
the ball last week.
Yeah, so, he came the ball, so I keep rolling and see. My thing, and that I said earlier in the season about Michael Thomas, is you don't quite know when he's gonna be at, because he's been injury plagued the last few years, and so you're hoping it doesn't happen, but you ride Michael Thomas as long as you can until you can't. So that's what's up. JK going back also has Spears stash in case the injury happens to. Oh, so there you go. You got the handcuff working to cover yourself in case there is a thing. So Mustard high. I ain't mad at that after this past week. Mustard and Brian Robinson for Eckler. Was that a win or a loss? If you trade Mustard and Brian Robinson for Eckler.
Mustard.
Brian Robinson.
He's been playing well.
He's been looking better than I thought.
I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I ain't gonna lie. I would get up here and say I was wrong.
I would probably sooner go out on Mustard than Brian Robinson. But hey, as long as he comes back from that ankle, but as long as he comes back from that ankle injury and gets back the ball in for Eckler, I'm comfortable losing both of those guys. Especially if I had other running backs on my roster to cover myself. This is the same team with like the Derrick Henrys and guys up there, then you should be good with there. Yeah. She going back, she said Dillon didn't do anything. She switched out for Dillon for Najee Harris last week.
Yeah,
which ended up didn't affect you because neither guy was great last week. But definitely put Najee Harris back in that starting lineup.
This week, certain.
Let's see. Justin wants to know, does he win here? He has Jalen Hurts, Bijan, Kyren Williams, who should be really good. I mean, I guess it really didn't matter that Cam Akers was on the team before, because even when Cam Akers was there, he wasn't there. But I still think Kyren Williams is helped now that Cam Akers is out of the building. We got CeeDee Lamb, Puka, Mike Williams, Darren Waller. The Eagles defense going against Lamar, Jerome Ford, Jacobs, Curtis Samuel, George Pickens, Goddard, Watson. Steelers defense. They're 1-1 right now.
I like him to win. Mm-hmm. I think Hurts and Lamar are wash. At quarterback.
Actually, I don't even call it a wash, because so far we haven't really seen a lot. We ain't seen Lamar the way we expected Lamar to be.
No, when I say a wash, I mean either both of them play the same. So you can't.
They play the same, but I think Jalen Hurts is going to be more productive. Well, we'll see. That Buck, like we talked about that Bucs defense earlier. That's going to be an interesting game to watch.
I mean, his running backs are probably. Jacobs didn't play well, but we know Jacobs can play well. That's another thing. Ford, Jacobs, but he got Bijan and Williams, Lamb, Puka. His receivers between Lamb and Puka, and I'm not a huge Mike Williams fan, but Mike Williams might like the line.
This is a week, like we said before. This is the week that Mike Williams should produce.
It calls for Mike Williams to produce, but we'll see. I don't like Darren Waller this week. At all, because the defense they playing the Niners. So I say he wins, but just be aware. Pickens may get more work because he got a lot of work last week. So Pickens gonna get working, and I think you got a chance, but it's gonna be a tight game though, because Ford, Jacobs, Pickens could do work, Lamar could do work, especially in your league because it's running for quarterbacks. It's a toss-up, but you should win it because you got better running backs at the moment, playing better anyway.
Speaking of Waller, would you trade Waller and get Harris because they have Jalen Warren on the team? Is someone going to do that trade?
I believe in Harris. I think Harris is going to be good. I think Pittsburgh got to figure it out. I would trade for Harris.
It might be just because I'm such a Harris guy. There's no way I'm giving you Najee Harris for Darren Waller. Not with his injury history. But if you can do it, yeah, certainly.
I mean, right now you probably could get Harris because so many people are low on him.
Right, and I definitely try to get him before this game.
Yeah, I would try to get him.
If I can send that trade tonight, if you haven't already done it.
Trade right now, I would do it because everybody's low on Harris now. So
until they play the Raiders, then they're going to be big on it once again.
Yeah.
Yo, we talked about the Giants are gonna. It's not gonna. Hey, I'm glad that we talked about Daniel Jones this week because we ain't gonna be talking. I 100% guarantee we are not gonna say Daniel Jones' name next week, except saying, "Dang, didn't he look terrible?" This is the funny part. Aaron Rodgers says I think he's on that stuff because he says he's gonna be ready for playoff time. Are the Jets gonna be in the playoffs for him to come back to? Not from what I saw.
That's a 9 to 12 month injury, man. I don't think so.
But even if he's ready to come back, it's not going to matter in the playoffs because Zach Wilson, the Jets aren't making the playoffs. I love you, Justin, but you need to put down those mushrooms you must have gotten from Aaron Rodgers because I'm not seeing that happen. It's a bad injury. Yeah, he ain't coming back at 40.
Yes. Yeah, it's a bad injury.
I said Curtis Samuel earlier. It's Deebo Samuel for that matchup. Earlier.
I knew it was.
Oh well, then you should have corrected me. Thanks, Justin, for correcting me.
My bad.
Yeah, do your job. T-Money Reacts. Welcome to the show. Hey, if you haven't already done so, welcome. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. We got an 8, PPR 2 flex. Josh Jacobs, Kareem Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Olave. Man, I love that wide receiver combination. Calvin Ridley, Puka. I love this whole wide receiver grouping. TJ Hawkinson, who, hey, you didn't want to give tight end some love. TJ Hawkinson deserves some love.
I'm not. No.
Yeah. No, you didn't give any tight ends love.
I didn't give him love. I got a threshold. It's got to be 100 yards. Come on, man. Stop playing with me. Okay, but back to what you were saying.
You're wrong. Back to this list. On the bench, we got now is that the new Kareem Hunt. Congratulations if you grabbed him. Jared Goff, Miles Sanders.
I'm assuming.
Miles Sanders. And Drake London. We got Tank Dell, who we talked about. I love Tank Dell. I actually have Tank Dell on the team. Your wide receivers are just loaded from top to bottom. We got Cooper Kupp just waiting to come back. Should you trade Cooper Kupp in London for Eckler and Christian Watson? Right now, they're 1-1. T-Money is also 1-1.
I mean, what did he need? You only can start.
The wide receivers are crazy. The running backs are questionable. Because Miles Sanders had a really good. Miles Sanders isn't bad, but I don't know I'm not big on the Panthers. Josh Jacobs has yet to put it together, but I think that gets better. So I'm good with him. Kareem Williams is good. So he has good running backs, but if you add Austin Eckler to that list of wide receivers, and that's before you even got down to Cooper Kupp. For me, trading Drake London is a no-brainer to me because with the wide receivers you have, Drake London is never getting in my starting lineup, ever.
I will make the trade just because it's Eckler.
Yeah.
Like you said, if you Olave, Ridley, Puka, Amon St. Brown, I'm definitely making that trade.
I'm making that trade in a heartbeat.
I think Christian Watson is going to be – I think he's going to be good when he comes back. When he does come back from injury, I think he can be good. So
because it's just a hamstring, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to, but that's what everyone's injury is right now. I make that trade in a heartbeat if I can get somebody to go with it because you're so set at wide receiver and you haven't even had Cooper Kupp in a game yet, so you're not going to be losing anything. So put London and Kupp together and you get better at running back, and you also have another very serviceable wide receiver, Christian Watson. So that looks like a good game to me.
Yeah, me too.
A good trade to me. Will Hayes asks, do you think Antonio Gibson is droppable at this point? He is very underproduced what we thought he was going to be for this offense.
I would say the way running backs are falling right now, I will hold on to him.
Just in cases.
Just in case
just as a handcuff.
Something happens to Brian Robinson, I will hold on to him just in case. Give it a few weeks, but I'll hold on to him just because you don't know what's going to happen. These running backs are dropping like flies now, so you want to have some type of security. So hold on to him.
I'd say like this. It depends on who you can pick up when you drop him. So if you have some examples of who's available on waivers that you would consider dropping him for, let us know. But I'm with you, Rodney. I'm not dropping him at this point. It's been 2 weeks, and like I was saying earlier in the show, I kind of wait till the third week before I do a lot of tinkering because I need at least 3 data points to see what I'm working with, and sometimes even 4. So I wait to see what this Eric Bieniemy offense starts to form up to be. I give it another week probably before I go dropping Antonio Gibson because, like you said, we said it earlier. You can never have too many running backs on a team, especially the way they've been dropping so far this year. What about my defense? Orlando Lewis asked. With the Eagles and the Bills, both scored low. For that particularly, I don't really care who my defense is. I'm streaming week to week. Because if you have standard scoring for your defense, it's a crapshoot anyway. Those are 2 really good defenses, so I roll with them unless I see a matchup I like where I can plug in a guy. But for this week specifically, I'm still we talked. Hey, the third man's not here anymore, so we can say our real feelings on Tampa Bay. I'm not benching that defense. Because I'm thinking they're going to make Baker Mayfield look more Baker Mayfield-ish, if you will. So I think this is probably going to be a bad game for the Bucs. So I'm not making that change for the Eagles. And then I'm looking at the Bills. They're playing the Commanders, and I'm not changing that either. I actually like the Bills this week. For defense.
I think we missed JK's other question.
Oh, what did I miss?
Would you trade Chase and Mike Williams for Diggs?
Oh, okay.
Chase is in a very bad situation, tough scenes in Cincy. I wouldn't Chase.
I don't want to give up those 2 wide receivers for Diggs. For Tyreek Hill, you okay? Yes. you might convince me.
I think they get a. I've always said this, that Cincinnati is a slow starting team.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow starts slow every year for some odd reason. I don't know why. He starts slow the first 4 to 6 weeks. Is always slow out the gate. And then he just turns it on for some reason. It's like a switch. And from week 6 to 7 and on, he's money.
Yeah.
So I'm holding on to Chase.
Yeah, the only thing that scares me right now would be the Joe Burrow issue and how serious he when I saw him limping last week, because I have Joe Burrow on I think 2 teams, but I have Jamar Chase in a few teams as well, and I know how you feel right now, but I'm with you right now. I'm giving it time to see how it goes until Joe Burrow is sitting on the sideline in street clothes. I'm going to just keep rolling with it and let's see how it goes. Because the first week, I didn't like having T. Higgins on my team, but I'm glad I still kept him in my starting lineup because it paid off big time. And so I'm gonna hold on to Jamar Chase and see how it goes. But it's just, to me, now, we've said our feelings about Mike Williams. We don't much care for him. But I still don't give him and Chase up for Stephon Diggs, because I think at the end of the year you're going to probably see Jamar Chase and Diggs with very similar numbers. If I'm giving up those 2 wide receivers, I'm shooting for the moon. You're not going to get Jefferson from anybody, but Tyreek, maybe.
Yeah. But no,
good question.
I think they get it together. I think 2 years ago when I was winning a bunch of championships, I had Chase, I had Barrow, and I had Chase. And they just started very, very slow.
Yeah.
But when they got cooking though,
they get cooking, like I said, they start slow, and so I'm waiting for them to warm up. I did predict that the Bengals would not win the division this year, and it's shaping up to look like I might be right on that. But I still expect them to heat up and cook. So yeah, I don't make that trade quite yet. I think that's probably an overreaction.
Yeah,
for now. Yeah. But stay tuned on Joe Burrow. Let Joe Burrow guide that decision. Angelo Sykes has a comment, win what? But I that might have been earlier, and I'm not sure.
I think that was to your mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I wonder if she playing him in the comedy. I know they're both in the comedy club.
Probably,
together.
Yeah.
Did I mention that I'm undefeated in the comedy club league? I don't know if I did. I just think it's worth repeating because I do my thing.
I mean, I'm 2-0.
I was in the championship game in that league last year, and so now I lost, so I'm trying to make up for it. Let's see, Ray Gramer, welcome to the show. We've got a question. Chubb, Barkley, DK Metcalf, David Montgomery, Jamal Williams. I actually dropped Jamal Williams in the league this week, just this very week, and I'll tell you why later. And Christian Watson all hurt here. On his team, we're talking injuries, and it's tough. This has been a tough start to this year with these kinds of injuries. So the question is, what do you do next, right? And for some of them, we said the answer is you grab the backups. Nick Chubb, we all talked about grabbing Jerome Ford was the right move. And even Kareem Hunt. I mentioned I dropped Jamal Williams. I dropped Jamal Williams in one of my leagues to pick up Kareem Hunt. Because I was like, all right, Jamal Williams, once Alvin Kamara comes off that suspension, isn't going to quite be, the Jamal Williams that we saw last year. Kareem Hunt, I don't know exactly what that split's going to be with Jerome Ford, but I think Kareem Hunt's going to be big enough in that split that I think he will outweigh Jamal Williams. I'm hoping I'm right on that one. So DK Metcalf, I'm not really that concerned with. David,
no, I think DK plays through injuries a lot. So I see DK doing that. Saquon to be back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, Saquon to be back. Monty shouldn't be out too long, they say.
Christian Watson.
Yeah. Christian Watson, I'm also, for now, not very concerned about as well. So the only one of those injuries that you really have to be, making serious moves for would be Nick Chubb. So, hey, Ray, we hope it all works out for you. You really, I thought our third man had it bad. You really got hit. Like the injury bug just slapped you silly. So,
well, I would say this. For that team and Nick Chubb, Nick Chubb is the only one. But what I would say is you would try to tread water until those guys come back, because when they do come back healthy and right, I think you should be all right. I think you'll be all right on making that playoff push. Mm-hmm. So just tread water as much as you can. You know what I mean? So definitely.
Okay. JK's going back earlier saying he has Josh Allen. So that stack would be nice to have Josh Allen. I'm a stacker. The reason I have Joe Burrow is because I have Jamar Chase. So I stack those. I stack my wide receivers with my wide receivers and my quarterbacks all the time. So I dig it. I'm all in it. And we're talking about the Raiders. Win what? We're gonna get. Hey, let's get these questions and then we'll run through these games real quick because we want to try to get some fantasy advice for those. That's gonna be something. Mm-hmm. Vegas got the Raiders winning this weekend. Okay, I'll show you why that's a falsehood in just a few minutes. Kitty Stay Trill, welcome to the show. You got to start one full PPR. Mike Pittman or Mike Williams? Which Mike are you going with?
These people love
like Sophie's choice. I know Mike Williams. I think Mike Williams just keeps coming up. Like last week and this week.
No.
I might go. Hey, I might break my own rules.
I'm going Mike Williams.
Yeah, I know, right? Usually, Kitty, we are big bashers of Mike Williams. This week, I'm going to trust the fantasy gods aren't going to leave us astray, and this will be the 1 week that you can fully put your trust in Mike Williams. If he can't produce this week,
then he just can't do it at all.
It's over for the year. But we'll see where it goes. But yeah, good question. We appreciate it. I'm going Mike Williams just because I love his quarterback more. A lot of times when I have tough decisions, and this is a tough call, honestly, between the two wide receivers. When they're close, I say which quarterback do I have more trust in? And we are two guys who love Justin Herbert.
Yes.
And they're gonna be slinging that ball. I can't wait. Do I have that? I can't remember whether I have that game or you have it, but I'm excited for that game.
Find out.
So we're gonna end the show going through all the games, putting up players that we potentially like or don't like, and try to help you guys out. And hey, you've been great with your questions so far, so keep them coming. If you have a question about any of the games when we talk about these players, please let us know, and we'll try to do our best.
Also, if you can ask Justin, we do answer our questions on our X account. If you got a question, if you need some advice on a trade or whatever, we do answer. I know I answer mine, and I know he answered his. So we do come back and we do reply to your answers, and we don't mind talking to you, helping you out, and also like and subscribe. Yeah, so let's help us get these numbers up, y'all.
All right, so let's get this thing going. We got this thing we do called the 40-second play clock. We give ourselves 40 seconds to go through each one of these games, say who we like, who we don't like, who we expect to win. Do you want to start us off, my brother? Or do you want me to go?
We're going to start with the Thursday night game, the Giants versus the 49ers. And obviously, Ayuk is a game-time decision. So if Ayuk doesn't play, I say you plug in George Kittle for this one because he becomes that third option. I got the Niners winning. I think Daniel Jones is going to have a tough run with no Saquon. So I definitely got them winning. I don't think it's going to be close. It shouldn't be close anyway, but the Rams made it close last week. So defense got to step up, definitely. But got the 49ers winning this. Look for McCaffrey to have a big game. And I say Debo to have a big game. I think Kittles may step in. And right. In case Ayuk don't play, I think he steps in and it does work.
What I found interesting, if you go back and you looked at the over-under for this game, I think it's way too high. I'm going with the under on this one because I don't see – this is similar to that game for me where didn't the Giants just get shut out by a really good defense just 2 weeks ago? They're not putting up a lot of points against the 49ers. And I don't think the 49ers offense is designed for Brock Purdy to put up 40 points like Dak Prescott's offense is designed to put up for the Cowboys. I am 100% 49ers. I'm starting several players on the 49ers. I ain't starting anybody at all. Anybody at all on the Giants team. I don't care who they are. They're not getting in my lineup at all this week. All right, let me hit my game, and I don't even know how I set this thing up, so I am messing up tonight. So I guess that's your team. Did I hit the wrong thing? No, that's my game. All right, Eagles and Bucks. All right, that's the one I'm starting with, apparently, because I'm messing up all my stuff. We talked about this game a lot with our third man there, and I'm sorry he's not going to be here to hear me say that the Eagles are going to lose. I already told y'all that. I mean, the Eagles are going to win. I'm sorry. Eagles are going to win this game big. I think Miles Sanders probably doesn't. I mean, I do not think DeAndre Swift has the game that he had last week, putting up that 175. I think this one is going to be more action from the wide receivers. So I'm starting those Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown kind of guys in this game. And I am going to have to this is part of the problem of being away. I can't have our producer do the producing thing because we don't have the setup. And I am failing miserably trying to get this thing going. So
it's okay.
I'm gonna try to get this thing working a little bit more. So I'm gonna pass the ball back to you and let you do your thing. But before you do, let me set myself up to not fail. Which game are you picking next?
I got the Falcons and the Lions.
All right. Hold up for a sec. All right.
Okay.
do your thing. You're live.
So I got Falcons and the Lions, and I say you put Jahmyr Gibbs out there ASAP. You play him, and you feel comfortable playing him. You play golf. Obviously you play Tyler Algier. I think you play obviously Bijan. You play the skill players, obviously. So I'm picking the Lions to win this one. I just feel like they're a better team. I think Goff is a better quarterback. I think Gibbs gets off this week. More opportunities with no Montgomery back there. So I'm definitely rolling with Detroit on this one. But I do think Bijan and Tyler Algier do have really good games fantasy wise. But I'm not starting Drake London. I'm not starting because they don't throw the ball enough for me. So you start the running backs, but that's about it. You start Gibbs. You start Amon St. Brown if he's healthy enough to play, and you start Goff.
Did you say who you have winning that one?
I got Detroit winning.
Okay, I'm not mad at.
You got Detroit.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm impressed, honestly, that the Falcons managed to win last week.
Yeah, me too.
Very impressed. I don't see that happening this week with them.
Not me either. I think the Lions are just a much better team. They played well though, and they fought to come back. But I just think I don't think that's going to be the case this week.
All right, we got a question from Kenny Stay Trill. Again, thanks, appreciate it. Starting two guys, Zay Flowers, Puka, Raheem Mostert, Rashawn White, Kyren Williams, and Drake London.
Kyren Williams and Puka.
Hold up.
Let me think about it again. Zay Flowers and Puka.
Why do you say Zay Flowers? I'm curious.
No, OBJ.
Uh-huh.
He got an ankle sprain or something. Ankle injury. Zay Flowers, even when he was there, he was getting way more targets than OBJ anyway. So I think Zay Flowers he's becoming that guy there.
Yeah.
And obviously Puka is gonna do what he do because Stafford is kind of keying in on him now. So he has tunnel vision. So Puka gonna get his. I like Williams.
Yeah.
I do.
I love Kyren Williams. Yeah.
I like Kyren Williams, but just think those guys are gonna eat a lot. Zay Flowers and Puka, in my opinion.
One of my fantasy football rules is I play the hot hand. Puka's a hot hand. I'm not benching him at all.
Nope.
But since you asked this question, it's actually timely because my next game involves the Colts and the Ravens. And I was going to say Zay Flowers is a must play for this game. And I think Zay Flowers is going to go off in this one. I like this over-under. I said before, I always use these over-unders to try to pick my games because it gives you a matter of how many points should be coming. And Zay Flowers is going to be a big part of those points. I think this is a good game to get that Lamar Jackson offense we've been waiting to see happen because the Colts defense isn't going to really present a problem for them. If I'm on the Colts, Anthony Richardson has been balling, so I'm going to keep going with him as well. He's the high hand. Not too sure about the wide receivers. We said earlier we might go Michael Pittman Jr., but for real, I'm not really for anybody on that team except Anthony Richardson at this point. But I am big on Zay Flowers, and like I said, hot hand is Puka, so I'm going with it. So I got the Ravens winning this one because as good as Anthony Richardson has been and as impressive as I've been with him, they ain't pulling out wins. And so I think the Ravens should make easy. I think that defense, though they've been injured a lot, I think that secondary is going to present some problems and give them enough to win that game. Who you got on that one?
I like the Ravens, but let me ask you a question. Do you like Zach Moss in this game?
I've seen Zach Moss as a popular pickup, and I kind of get it. I think he's going to have a good to average game. I don't think he's going to have an excellent game. I was impressed with what we saw from him. The Ravens defense is susceptible. but I wouldn't really count on it. I have a problem putting a lot of confidence in them. But if there's a player on that team other than Anthony Richardson, and like we said, Michael Pittman has a chance. Zach Moss probably has a better chance to have a successful game, I think, than Michael Pittman, because that passing game for this rookie, we'll see. I think it still has to develop a little bit more. I've been impressed with what I've seen, but it's set up for Zach Moss to probably do some production. But if we get the kind of game from the Ravens offense that I'm thinking, that might eliminate some of Zach Moss' opportunities. But we'll see. Are you starting Zach Moss this week?
Yeah, one league.
Yeah. I don't have him anywhere, so that might be why I don't like him.
I'm starting him in in SMFL.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do my next game, the Texans and the Jags. No, I'm sorry, I don't have that game. I apologize. My next game is the Packers and the Saints, and when I can go. Good.
Oh yeah. Your Packers and the Saints. Yeah, you're good.
All right, so I got the Packers and the Saints this week, and I'm going the Saints in this one. I think I'm gonna pick the Saints. I think Aaron Jones is sitting out again this week. I don't trust AJ Dillon now one bit.
Yeah.
He had an opportunity last week to actually show what he could do as a starting running back, and he didn't do well. Now I'm starting Olave. Obviously, I'm starting. Running back situation is tough for the Saints right now, but you may be surprised. Taysom Hill may get you some points from the running back position. So look maybe for Taysom Hill to get involved a little bit more. But obviously, you start Olave. Michael Thomas a little bit maybe, but Olave definitely he has to start. So definitely, I'm going to Saints on this one. I think Taysom Hill is going to probably have a good game, and it's weird saying that, but the opportunity is there for him to have that type of game because they have no other running backs.
We saw when Jamal Williams went out that they immediately went to Taysom Hill.
Yes.
We talked about before, when you have two quarterbacks, you probably don't have one, and they did a lot of that. I didn't like a lot of the switching I saw with there. But in this case, it was working, and I kind of understood where they were going for with it. So, yeah, Taysom Hill I actually thought about it as a play for this week.
Yeah.
It's just the fact of you just don't know. Right,
I think this week
should be a good
week though. Yeah. For some reason,
I think they're gonna I think they're gonna scheme that game similar to what they did at the end of that game where they did have Jamal Williams, because they still got another week before we have AK-41 coming back. So yeah, that's a good play. It's a good play. I'm gonna go with the Saints. I'm gonna go with the Saints winning that one.
Yeah.
All right. So my next game is the Cardinals and the Cowboys. And in this one, Josh Dobbs has been impressive because, quite frankly, I didn't expect anything from him. But he's probably the only guy on that team I'd put any stock in. I think this is going to be Cowboys all the way. The Cowboys are looking scarily impressive at this point. So I'm playing those. I'm playing all those Cowboys guys. I'm playing none of the Cardinal guys unless I have in the 2-quarterback league. I might go play Josh Dobbs. I don't like Hollywood Brown this week. I don't think that's going to work out, and I don't think James Conner is worth playing either. But Cowboys win this one. I think that's a runaway game. What you got?
I'm taking the Cowboys in the over because I think they're going to destroy Arizona. Michael Parsons going to probably have a field day, to be honest with you.
Won't he though?
He's going to have a field day. I got the Cowboys winning this thing, though. I think now, my only thing, Dak is not going to probably have to do much again this week. So he hurt you in Missy as far as if you're looking for numbers, because he's probably not going to have to do much.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You got to take that, but you got to think about that one before you put him in the lineup. So.
Yeah. So, we'll see. I see there's some audio, but I think I might have fixed it. Yeah. I've been working on it, so hopefully we're good to go here.
So got my next game is the Miami Dolphins and the Denver Broncos. And
hold up for a second. Is it? I'm
it's on
losing
me.
track. It's on you. Oh, then
Yeah, because you just did the Is it on me? No, because I just did the Saints game. So you got the Jacks. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you got the Titans and Browns. So it's on you. Sorry, my bad. Because I did the Saints and the Packers, and then you got the next game.
Well, no, I just did the Cowboys and Cardinals. It is on you. You were right the first time.
Okay.
My bad.
I'm doing it's all good. Hey, we're a live show, people. This is not recorded. So I'm doing the Broncos and the Dolphins. And speed kills. That's all I'm gonna say. Obviously, Waddle went out with a concussion last week, but I think he's going to be fine. I think he should play this week. Obviously, Tyreek Hill is there, Raheem Mostert, and Russell Wilson he played numbers-wise, he played well last week, but performance-wise, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Denver. I don't get it. I don't know what they're trying to do or what type of offense they're trying to run. They looked good in the first half, and then they just lost it. So I'm going with Miami all the way on this one. So Miami to the house.
I'm with you all the way. Miami should do that. It's weird that the Broncos have been doing very well at the beginning of their games, and then it's like everything falls apart. And is that Russell Wilson? Is that Sean Payton? Is it both of those guys? I don't know, but I'm not trusting a lot. Now, Russell Wilson paid off dividends for your fantasy football team, but it wasn't pretty.
Definitely.
It definitely wasn't pretty. So, yeah.
I mean, the numbers were there, but I think if you think in real life performance,
yeah,
it was. And it could be Sean Payton just asking for too much. I think Sean trying to do stuff on the fly, and try to see who's worth playing and all this. So I think he's doing a little bit too much, in my opinion, but that's just me. Yeah. Russ did have 300 yards. He had a good game. I think a couple touchdowns. So he did, fantasy-wise, he did well. It's just, I think the defense might have let him down, too, because Washington did come back. So that could be part of it, too. So.
All right, my next game is real easy. I got the Bears and the Chiefs, and I've been saying this for a few of my games. You start the Chiefs over Justin Fields, so we're done with. Hey, the only thing you might be able to say is this should be a game where he can throw the ball on that defense. But I tell you, in full disclosure, I picked up the Chiefs in a couple of leagues for my defense because Justin Fields has not shown me that he's capable of really being a quarterback, and so I'm not playing any of those guys. The only thing I'm watching for the Bears, and I don't think it happens this week, is the Khalil Herbert, Rashawn Johnson splits. Mm-hmm. Eventually, I think that's going to be a lot more Rashawn Johnson and maybe a little bit less Khalil Herbert. But this game, I'm playing Chiefs players, any of them I have, because you know how those guys are. Now, if there's a wide receiver I'm playing on that team, we're starting to see Sky Moore look a little bit good. But that's I don't really trust. I trust Kelsey. I trust Patrick Mahomes. I think Pacheco might end up with a really good game here because they're gonna blow, I think, Chicago out the water, and that might turn to hand the ball off to Pacheco all day. I think he has a big game.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Is this a make or break game for the coach of Chicago?
For the coach of Chicago? That's the engine because we've seen people go to fire folks really quickly. So I think it's too early, but I think it is one of those make or break, something has to change moments where people had such not just in fantasy, but all together, people had real big expectations that the Bears were going to make this significant jump. And I think it's very obvious at this point they're not going to be doing that this year. So they're gonna have one of those come to Jesus moments. So we'll have to see how that goes.
I mean, how long do you give them? If it's not 6. This week,
by week 6, you gotta have some stuff corrected.
I mean, I was thinking sooner than that, but if they go 0-4, 0-5,
Yeah.
I think somebody get the axe earlier than that, to be honest with you. So that's a tough one. That's a tough
It's
one
gonna be a tough one.
because yeah, I mean, you really can't. The Chiefs, you can't blame them as far as if they lose to the Chiefs, you can't blame them because the Chiefs just
that's
a
not a game
better.
they should win. But they should look good, and that's the question.
They should look good, but
They
if they
should,
don't
and I
look
don't think
good,
they're gonna look. They're coming in after Detroit, which is a team that's also in transition to be. But I think Detroit's way better than because Detroit managed to win. You're not going to see Chicago win, but they want to at least look good on the field and show they can move the ball. And so if they can't move the ball against the Chiefs, then I think it is going to be one of those things where the seed ain't super hot yet, but it's going to start heating up. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know, man. I just think this might be. I'm not giving them week 6. I think this game is the start of the make or break, and then it might kind of come around the week after this week, and then week 5, and then they might just do it at that point. So I just think something has to change, and I don't think they're gonna get rid of Justin Fields. Not this year.
They can't.
So it's got to be a coach. So the seat can be hot at some point. But,
yeah. All right. You're up.
So I got the Bills and the Commanders this week. And surprising, I will say, to start, Sam Howell. I like what Sam Howell is doing. I think the Bills definitely gonna win this game. I think Washington keeps it close with Sam Howell and Scary Terry. Even running the ball, I think Washington has did work. So I'm going Buffalo. Diggs, I think, is going to be too much for those corners out there in Buffalo. But I definitely got Buffalo covering, winning the game. So I'm going to go Buffalo on this one. Diggs and Josh Allen should have a good game. So definitely Buffalo all the way.
Do you think Jahan Dotson has a better game than he did last week? Because last week, I know someone was expecting Jahan Dotson to put up numbers, and he did not.
I wouldn't suggest it. Buffalo defense is fairly good. They have pretty good corners. I think Scary Terry just gets off because of the fact that he's a good receiver, and he normally gets his anyway. I think Sam Howell, I'm not going to call him tunnel vision, but he does look for Scary Terry quite often.
He's a rookie quarterback, and so he makes those kind of. He going through your progressions gets difficult for those guys because they don't have the time like you normally expect to have. So exactly. I get that. Yeah. I see Angelo saying that the problem is the Bears aren't doing their offense run, and we kind of said some of that earlier, where you see in Indianapolis they kind of say, okay, this is where Anthony Richardson should be good, and they're putting him in a position to succeed. I can't really say I've seen the Bears put Justin Fields in a position to succeed. So he's got to play better, but I just don't. I don't think it's going to work out this year at all.
I mean, I think what they need to do is, instead of having Justin sit in the pocket and try to make him a passing quarterback, you should roll him out more.
Yeah.
To
keep him moving.
Keep him moving. That's his strength, is to roll out to the left or right, and that's how he gets. If you ever watch him play, in the pocket is not the thing he does the best. If he rolls left or rolls right and gets any type of space where he can kind of get it down the field, that's what he does the best, honestly. Mm-hmm. And I don't think they don't structure their offense around that too much, and I think they need to in order for him to be successful. Yeah. That's why I say the coach, they got to bring in an offensive-minded head coach.
Yeah.
Because the defensive they can bring in an offensive coordinator all they want to. But if that offensive-minded head coach is not going to kind of step in and say, look, this is what I want from you, and this is what I need from Justin, and this is how we're going to be successful, It's never gonna work. So they need to bring in somebody who's offensive minded to be real with you.
All right. Well, we got some questions coming in. Welcome Snags 412 to the show. They want to trade for Kamara. Who would you aim to trade away? That's a value.
Who's on your team?
Yeah.
So
do I have to make sure I didn't skip anything?
No, you skip nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let us know who you want to trade.
Yeah.
Or unless you're trying to trade, maybe I'm interpreting it wrong. You have Kamara and you want to trade him. You want to make a trade for him. I mean, you want to trade somebody for him. Like you're going to give away Kamara. Who do you think you can get back in return? Might be the question. Let us know, and we'll try to answer that one. Captain Jokin, welcome again. Hey, glad you loved the stream. Thanks for hitting subscribe. If anyone hasn't done that yet, please hit the like and subscribe for us. Please. It helps us out. And thanks for all the comments. Those help us out as well. They just traded Garrett Wilson, Laporta, and Miles Sanders for A.J. Brown and DJ Moore. How bad did they F up? Because you have A.J. Brown, I said you didn't. The question comes in on the side of what is DJ Moore going to give you? We were talking Justin Fields earlier. A.J. Brown, I love.
Me too.
And with the Aaron Rodgers injury, I love Garrett Wilson less than now. Granted, he was 1,000-yard receiver with Zach Wilson and Mike White and Joe Flacco and whoever else they found to be a quarterback last year. But that was unexpected. This year, everybody's looking for Garrett Wilson. So I think you made that trade at a good time. Sam Laporta, I love, but he's a tight end and a rookie that really doesn't generally give you a lot of fantasy production. I think there's an exception this year because they kind of need him, but there's so many mouths to feed, and Jameson Williams isn't back yet. Miles Sanders is in Carolina, so I think you won that trade, quite frankly.
Me too.
Look, with just A.J. Brown alone, I like that better than all those other guys. And if Justin Fields can find his way, DJ Moore might give you some good weeks as well. That's not going to be as consistent, unfortunately. But overall, depending on the way your rest of the team looks, I think you still did well because I'm with you. I think A.J. Brown is going to go up. I don't think you messed up at all, buddy.
No, I think you did well. I think DJ did well. And DJ Moore had a good week last week. So,
yeah, exactly.
You put it off.
There's not a lot of people for Justin Fields to throw to, so know it's going to go to DJ Moore if anyone else. So he's going to be boom or bust. But funny. With A.J. Brown being the guy he's going to be, I take those boom and bust moments from DJ Moore. So, you did well. Nate the Great, welcome back to the show.
Hello, Nate.
Good to have you every week. Would you guys trade Kamara and Kirk for Christian Kirk, I'm assuming that is, for Brian Robinson and Zay Jones? Ooh, he's 0-2. And the running backs are Pierce and Madison. Damian Pierce. Madison is not disappointing me because I didn't have expectations for him. Damian Pierce, though, has me hurting right now. I was like, man, I thought he was going to be better. What do you think about that trade?
I like Brian Robinson. And my only question is, can Zay Jones keep it up?
Yeah, because Zay Jones is the question mark there.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to get Brian Robinson if I was you, but I would try to get another piece other than Zay Jones.
Yeah.
Because Zay Jones, for me, Christian Kirk's picking it up. Obviously, you got the other receivers. So he's the third receiver on that team right now. I would try to search for another receiver that's going to get you our wide receiver 2. I don't know if you can pull a wide receiver 1, but definitely if you can pull a wide receiver 2 other than like Zay Jones.
Maybe a wide receiver that's struggling a little bit more. That you have some confidence in that'll be able to pick it up later. I definitely love the Brian Robinson part. We talked about him earlier. I would love I think we both would probably say Christian Kirk is above Zay Jones. Who do you have as the higher between Kamara and Brian Robinson?
I mean, being that Kamara not playing right now, you have to say Brian Robinson.
Well, I meant going forward when Kamara gets back. Do you think he'll be better than Brian Robinson then.
You know what's funny about that, man?
Yeah.
I don't like the Taysom Hill situation at all with the running. He takes away, and it started like last year. He takes away a lot of Kamara's touchdowns now.
Yeah.
For some reason. But I like Kamara though. I think he still could beat Kamara, obviously. But Brian Robinson, from what I'm seeing, doesn't have any competition in that backfield. Not one bit. So I'm going Brian Robinson at the moment.
I'll be honest with you, and this is not what I said before the season started. And I think you also expected a lot from Antonio Gibson, which we haven't seen. I am becoming a big Brian Robinson believer.
Fan. Yeah,
so for me, I have I have less questions about Brian Robinson than I have about Alvin Kamara because, like you said, we haven't seen him yet. They brought in Jamal Williams. They still have Kendre Miller, who's yet to get on the field, and the guy they put in when Jamal Williams got hurt, Tony Robinson or something, I forget his name. Yo, they got some competition at running back. None of those guys are Alvin Kamara, but Brian Robinson has a lot less, and I think with this new offense with Eric Bieniemy, I expect to see big numbers. So I feel comfortable enough-ish to do that one, do that trade. If I'm getting Robinson, like you said, I'm trying to get a little bit better than Zay Jones if I can. Trying to get Robinson and Mike Williams. Yo, if you can get I would take Mike Williams. I think Zay Jones and Mike Williams are both boom or bust guys, but Mike Williams is a little more boom, a little less bust than Zay Jones is. So yeah, if you can do that, if you can get to accept that, that's going to be great. But yeah, it's going to be a hard one, especially I'm in a 16-man league, and it's tough. It's tough out there. I dig it. But best of luck to you, Nate. Let us know how that works out. I thought Nita had chimed out on us because it's getting a bit late. We're going to have to wrap up soon as we get through these questions. But, hey, Justin Fields, he has potential. But the one thing I always say about fantasy football, potential doesn't get you that far. You got to get numbers. You got to get stats in order to be great in fantasy football. So we're going to have to see whether he can do more. And so I hope so. So I think is it me?
Yeah, it's you.
All right, so let's go to my next one. I'm going to go with the Browns okay, I went back to myself. All right, I'm going to go with the Browns and the Titans. And in this one, we talked a lot about Derrick Henry already. So I think it's going to be a defensive game. But like you said, Derrick Henry is matchup proof. He's the one guy I think they're going to keep trying to feed him. This is going to be really interesting to see what Deshaun Watson. This is a prove-it game for Deshaun Watson. If you had Deshaun Watson on your roster and you're unhappy with it, which you should be, if he can't get it done, and I said this earlier, if he can't get it done against the Titans, he ain't going to get it done this year. So you're going to really watch. Hopefully you get some good stuff from Jerome Ford. I don't think we're going to see quite Kareem Hunt in action, or at least a significant yet. So it's going to be the Jerome Ford. So he should have a pretty good game. We talked about their situation with wide receivers. It's hard to trust Deshaun Watson. It's hard to trust any of those wide receivers. But I'm still going to go out on a limb and say the Browns win, but it has that question mark in it because I'm not really that convinced.
I got the Browns.
Yeah.
I just I say defensive purpose, but I still think Derrick Henry is a good play this week. He's matchup proof in my opinion. So
yeah, he's my favorite play of that whole.
Yeah, he's matchup. So well, I got my next one is the New England Patriots and the New York Jets, and I'm starting Garrett Wilson, but that's a tough call because Bill Belichick normally he comes to play when they play the Jets because that's a division game. So I'm going to England to win the game. I don't think either quarterback is really successful this week. I just think it's more of a defensive game. And I think it's going to come down to a defensive stop or defensive interception or something of that nature to where, they make the play to win the game. So I say Garrett Wilson may get a catch or two. I mean, he may get some fantasy points for you. If you got to play him, that's fine. If not, I would look for another option. Brees Hall didn't look too well last week against a good defense, so I think he's still recovering though. Honestly.
Yeah.
So I still think it's a defensive matchup. To be honest with you. So I'm going New England to win it though.
Yeah. If y'all saw the over under down at the bottom for that game, it's low. I don't think this is a game you're gonna get a lot of fantasy production out of because they're bad quarterbacks. There's Garrett Wilson, but other than him, there's bad wide receivers. Hey, but there's good defenses, and so that's so maybe that's the best play you could have. I'm gonna go with the Patriots to win this one. Yeah. I'm not picking the Jets on purpose. So. All right, let me hit my next one. And now this one's not going to take me long. It's the Texans and the Jaguars. I like C.J. Stroud to continue what he's doing. I think he's going to be able to put up good numbers against this Jaguars defense. But I think Trevor Lawrence is going to bounce back really well in this win as well. I think he's going to be able to have it. We talked a lot today about wide receivers. We mentioned Christian Kirk. We mentioned Zay Jones. We haven't mentioned Calvin Ridley. This should be a good Calvin Ridley game, and I'm really hoping this is a big Travis Etienne game. I think he should be able to do well, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Tank Bigsby throw in a touchdown here or there. So I got the Jags winning this one. As interested as I am from some of the fantasy stuff I've seen from C.J. Stroud, I don't think the Texans are going to be anywhere near good enough. I'm hoping. We talked about all those wide receivers. It's kind of a toss-up. I feel comfortable playing any of them in my flex spot because just the way C.J. Stroud is playing, he's been the most impressive rookie for me by far.
Yeah, I'm going the Jags. But my question for you is, does Trevor Lawrence play better?
He has to. He has to because we expected him to make a jump. He started looking really good last year, and we haven't really seen it all come together yet this year. This is one of those games where it should. The Texans defense, I think, has been playing above their stage, but they're not. They shouldn't be able to compete with Trevor Lawrence and those wide receivers if they're got everything going, and especially if they get Travis Etienne running in this game. So
we'll see. But I do like the Jags, but I just think Trevor Lawrence, I feel like he played down to competition.
I'm not mad at that
in a sense. So, my next game is the Seattle Seahawks and the Carolina Panthers. And I'm going with the Seahawks with this one. I think they just the receiving core is just too good. And I think the defense is probably going to make Bryce Young look very small. And that old line in Carolina, they need to go find somebody to protect this boy because he's going to get killed if they don't. So I'm rolling with Seattle on this one. I'm not playing anybody from Carolina. Obviously, you play the normal guys, DK, Tyler Lockett. You even play Geno this week because I think Geno's going to have a good game. So you play your normal guys from Seattle. From Carolina, I'm not doing it, though.
Yeah, I'm not impressed with that team at all. I'm not messing with them. I'm going to do my favorite game for the week. Play everybody. This is going to be this is going to be the best game ever, and I'm going to be so disappointed if it's not. Look at that over/under, 54 points. This is going to be, we mentioned earlier in the game, this is going to be a shootout because neither defense is worth a hill of beans. If you got a player, put him, even Josh Kelly, you were disappointed in him last week. You shouldn't be disappointed this week. Everyone's going to score on every team. This is going to be fun football to watch. Maybe no defense, but from an offensive standpoint, you are going to love this game. And I'm looking for my combination. We talked stacks earlier. I have a Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins stack, and I'm expecting that stack to put up some crazy numbers for me this week.
That is funny.
Who's winning? The Chargers seem to not. They found ways to lose, so I'm going to say the Vikings.
That's true. They do find ways to lose.
They just.
But I'm gonna say the Chargers win slightly.
Yeah. They should be. They're the better team. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw out there one player that I think is gonna probably have the best game out of all of them, and I think that's Jordan Addison. I think Jordan Addison is gonna have a monster game because I feel like the Chargers are gonna try to take away Jefferson, and I think Addison is gonna probably eat a lot this week, and I can't wait because I got him starting in like 2-3 leagues.
Yeah, that's like I said. This game, hey, I'm playing everybody I can think of. If I got a Charger or I've got a Vikings player, I'm squeezing them in the lineup somewhere. I don't know who I'm sitting, but I'm putting them in. Hey, welcome Keeps to the show. We are kind of marathoning it, so
we are.
Yeah,
I mean, it's okay.
I think we're close to the end. Is this your last one? I think this might be my last one. Who you got?
I got the Rams and the Bengals. This is a tough one to call, man, because it's up in the air about Joe Burrow this week. But if Joe Burrow's out there, they 0-2, so they gotta get a win. So in the Rams, they played well against the 49ers last week. They showed some good things, but I think the Bengals, they got to get one. So I'm rolling with the Bengals on this one. I think Joe Burrow kind of shows that, because like I said earlier, he's a slow starter, but I think he's starting to shake that rust, even though I think the injury is very, very much a possibility of why he's playing bad. But I got the Bengals winning it if he's out there. If not, I'm going with the Rams because I can't name you the backup for the Bengals right now.
Yeah, I saw it earlier because I know people were picking him up. I can't remember his name. I'm praying to God. This is the game. You heard my excitement about the Vikings game with the Chargers. Yeah. This is the game that should have that same level of excitement if I had full trust in Joe Burrow being back. So I don't know what to make of that. So we'll see. Hey, last game. And this is the one y'all probably know what I'm going to say because I've kind of told y'all about this one starting from the top of the show. And that's the Raiders and the Steelers. This is your night game. The fantasy production supposedly should be there for the Raiders offense to come together. I'm not expecting it. You got Devontae Adams coming off the concussion. We got to see what happens. Josh Jacobs hasn't looked good at all. And like I tell everybody, if you have a running back going against the Raiders, play them. This is the game, Matt Canada. I'm talking to you specifically, and I'm talking to you, Mike Tomlin, as well. If y'all don't give Najee Harris 15 is too low. If you don't give him 20 to 25 carries this game, a pox upon you in your houses. The Steelers should win this game. I know the Raiders are favorites, but they're not that good. Listen to me. The Raiders are not that good. The defense is not even in existence. Did you see what James Cook did a week ago? Najee Harris all day long. Put him in your lineups. And if it doesn't work out, it's not my fault. It's Matt Canada and Mike Tomlin's fault. The Steelers have to win this game. If the Steelers, I'm calling on all the powers of the Steeler Nation to help me out with this one. Get on your phones. Call Mike Tomlin. Tell him you insist on seeing Najee Harris run the ball. And then Kenny Pickett's going to find his opportunities to throw you like 2 touchdowns because the run game sets up the pass game. This is basic football. The run game sets up the pass game. Run the doggone ball. You're the Steelers. Your running back should never have 10 or fewer carries in a game. A shame on you for destroying your own legacy in history. There you go. I took more than 40 seconds, but
it's okay.
Let's go.
Before we leave, and I appreciate everybody staying.
Yes,
that's
thanks for
here.
Staying with us.
Please staying with us. You know, we can get along with it sometimes, you know, because we love talking sports and fantasy football and things of that nature. But definitely, I appreciate y'all sticking with us. But I got one question for you before we leave.
Yeah.
How long is Jimmy Garoppolo's leash?
Hey, I'm actually not fully, but halfway impressed with Jimmy Garoppolo because he's not as bad. He looked more Jimmy-ish last week
Yes,
than he did the first week. But I'll tell you like this: in one of my leagues, I dropped Aiden O'Connell because I'm happy enough. Not the dynasty leagues, obviously, but I'm happy enough.
I was about to say,
I'm happy enough with Jimmy Garoppolo, and he's going to be my bench guy anyway. That I'm going to let it ride. I think they let him go until he gets hurt, and he's Jimmy Garoppolo, so that leash will be determined by when his knee goes out, or his shoulder, or some part of his body. So
okay, all right.
Yeah,
I just wanted to know because we know how Jimmy rolls. I just wanted to make sure you was aware of that. He did play like Jimmy-ish last week, and I just wanted to make sure he was okay with it.
Yeah, he was a lot more Jimmy. Last week was more what I expected to see from him. That I think I got fooled by the first week. We'll see. I don't care.
Yes, you did.
Like I said, this year, if the Raiders win 5 games, I'm happy. I just want us to play better than the Broncos, and so far that's been the case. Other than that, I don't care. We're gonna Hey, I know I'm on the Aiden O'Connell bandwagon, but hey, maybe we play bad enough to get Caleb Williams next year. I'm tanking my dynasty team for Caleb. I don't mind the Raiders tanking for him either. So
you gotta tank harder than me because I'm tanking even worse. So I'm just saying. But that's all we got. We appreciate y'all for staying again. We appreciate you. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Follow us. Hit us on Instagram. Hit us on X. We will respond. Let your friends know. Let your family know. We got to get these numbers up. Let's get it up to 1,000, man. Hey. Let's get it up to 1,000. Let's shoot for the moon now, people. So definitely, man. And let your friends know to check us out because we're here and we ain't going nowhere.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great night and good luck to your fantasy football teams. And Steelers fans, hey, I appreciate y'all. Get on the phone. Let's start calling Mike Tomlin and Mike Canada. Tell them to get this thing straightened out.
Hey.
All right. Definitely. Peace out, y'all.
All right.